My gamers, howdy! Alrighty, the time has arrived once again for the weekly bounty hunters. And if you're wondering what sort of event we're running here exactly, we're basically a first to 7 show match kind of an event with skill-based matchmaking happening every Sunday from 5 p.m. CEST and lasting around 2.5 hours to 3 hours onwards. The event is free for everybody to sign up for, but since we're originally EU-based, the majority of our player base are naturally from EMEA, still doesn't mean that you couldn't make it in, and we do in fact have once again US participants with us tonight. There's always a chance that we can fit in a couple of players with fun arrangements, especially when it is East Coast US to West Coast Europe connection. Do we even say West Coast? I guess western part of Europe rings a little bit better. Anyway, as usual, the name of the game tonight is Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is show match style, first to 7 wins for the next 3-ish hours. Might be a little less this time around because we're on a slightly more slashed schedule tonight. I'm your usual host QK. And now, let's start checking out what our weekly roster has in store for us. So the great tragedy for this week is that we had to scrap 2 of our 7 matches. Happens sometimes, but that just means we can concentrate on the remaining 5 even harder. And maybe this will actually save me, since I've been going through some nasty summer allergies. It's a little hard to talk. Getting a little sneezy here and there. What we do have left for tonight, though, let's start from the bottom, shall we? In the last slot, we've got 3rd week in a row, PleaseDontLaugh Biken repping North America. The warrior to answer the call tonight is gonna be Gusto's Faust, and definitely belonging to the club of Fausts who brings super entertaining plays. Gusto, that is. Gonna be a battle between the control of Faust's buttons and items in pursuit to keep biking out of her effective range, and most importantly, trying to deny the set play opportunities from the one-handed samurai woman. Then more Biken action in the 4th slot in another control matchup versus Biken. This time Scarlet Testament will be testing Raven's ability to get in. And perhaps our top seed matchup of the evening this will be, since we had to unfortunately fold on the Whale versus Badur matchup, which is honestly a huge bummer, since Badur is an OG Venom player from back in the day, and I was really looking forward to seeing what is being cooking on Strive with this character. But, it happens. 3rd matchup slot presents us our second or latter random matchup of the evening. Both of those which are going to be played back-to-back in the 2nd and 3rd slot. The pairings tonight are Miku random versus Jayce Sin, and Spooky random versus RalfZ Faust. Both of the matches are random versus character lock, so only one person will be randoming tonight. You might ask, why would someone random it in an event like this? And well, you might have a couple of different reasons, but generally because they're built different. Some players just, like that fun factor they can apply and engage in if you happen to be able to control enough characters of the whole cast. And generally the people who sign up for the random do have decent amount of knowledge of, majority of the cast of Guilty Gear Strive. And now, we come to our first matchup of the evening. We've got ZUBI and RalfZ. As far as I understand, besties of sorts. I think these guys play a lot, and the power balance is, as far as I've understood, usually swinging in favor of Ralph. However, ZUBI wants to see where they currently stand after a season of training, how much has changed, and what we can do at the moment. Let's actually bring the... Yo, I almost forgot. I almost forgot the best part. This card. Oh, shit. That is pretty damn cool. I think art, you know, the, whatchamacallit, the character art provided by ZUBI, if I'm not mistaken. Lots of cool drawings. You should check out their stuff if you're interested. Really interesting art style. Very unique art style as well, making it really cool. But yeah, very hard-hitting matchup here. Slayer, Soul, perhaps two of the most straightforward, punch you in the face kind of characters. Characters just want to get in and, you know, peddle plus frames, try to mix you up, try to overwhelm your... Well, especially Slayer, try to overwhelm your opponents. What do they call it? Mental stack. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, we are more or less ready to go. Let me ping the players as well. From here on out, there's gonna be no breaks. Both characters with very similar kind of far slashes as well. You have the forward advancing type, lots of plus frames, and then of course following into the, are they gonna press a plus frame button again, or are they gonna frame trap? And both these characters frame trap the opponent into a ton of damage. So waiting it out. The calm before the storm is about to unfold. Someone is definitely gonna take a whole lot of damage, especially after this burst have been emptied, starting with the far slash. So the Fafnir no longer in the modern patches. Oh, hold that thought. We get a big far slash counter hit. That can happen from surprisingly far distance, especially against a character like Slayer, who doesn't necessarily like have the most standard moving around. So like if you try to move around with Slayer, you are committing to something. So sometimes, you know, Slayer players might just hold their position and see what the opponent is doing. Oh, trying to go for that far slash again. However, the too heavy from Slayer, one of the money-making buttons. Oh, tried to go for a very delayed PRC command grab, but still a little too early for the jump PP from the fast RC. The Fafnir getting a nice wall bounce, equalizing the situation completely. Ralph does have the burst advantage, but at this low amount of life, a little hard to perhaps justify burning meter, be it the full burst or deflect shield. I mean, you get burst back in Guilty Gear Strive fairly fast, so you know, deflect shield in a tight situation like that might be an okay investment if you're sure what you're doing. Oh, the 2K from a very far distance. Now in the corner, trying to FD as much as possible. Oh, big universe counter it. This is gonna hurt, especially since Ralph has the resources to go for the super at the end of the string. I think Soul should still survive this. Yes, indeed. Plays the full burst. Gambles. Ooh, but no punish there. Either way, ZUBI does take the full burst into the last round. Good patience there, holding the burst. Ooh, good eye there, dashing forward, and that's actually so deep that that's a lot of throws. But now this wild throw here gives away the corner position, fixes it with another throw. Oh, the jumping into a delayed bandit bringer to catch them. Trying to press something. Nice hit confirmed, just standard Mappa hunch with the non-counter hit too heavy. Of course, on counter hit, Slayer can go into a lot of stuff, and even if the was that an OTG? I'm not sure if it was, but ZUBI grabbing the first one. Very interesting change of functions, that tool. Fafnir used to be strictly a kind of like, alright, are you too scared? I'm gonna print plus frames, whereas now it's more of a combo tool and a frame trap tool. Ooh, cut them in the air. Was it the RC explosion that actually cut them? Ooh, it's gonna be a lot of plus straight into universe. Careful with the DP. And once you get a hit on Slayer after the universe buff has been applied, I think it dispels immediately. So getting that hit as fast as you can is super important. Spent the FRC there on the high-low mix-up, but wasn't quite able to get the confirm. And now Ralph pushing it towards the corner, drops it. Oh, this could still could be an opportunity for ZUBI, saving the meter for the next conversion. Finally, he barely whips on the backdash, but now we're in the corner. Potentially one hit, one good hit. Waits for the burst. It was a gold one, so no true punish to be had at that range. And the patience, look at that. The aura farming, walking forward and catching the backdash. It does make sense because Slayer has a really slow backdash. Slayer actually has some difficulties getting out of these pressure positions. Another good throw. Can't be too passive, too too patient. Oh, that's a counter hit. Got ZUBI in the corner, and with the FRC, that's a quick, nice conversion through the wall. Once again, in the same position, exact same position as previous round. Although ZUBI has a small advantage here in terms of the full burst gauge. Mappa from the space distance, not the easiest thing to deal with, only minus couple of frames, and with Slayer's backdash and the shenanigans following from that, can be a little tough to deal with. Not just the backdash, but also into waiting for the burst never comes. ZUBI, patience, and then just puts on the 2S, the footsie button of this character. Trading once again to the 2S, and the fights far slash. Small conversion, no burst just yet, goes into the mix-up. I think might have had some sort of input error there. Usually the mix-up from the Bandit Revolver is FRC into a high-low, but not giving up yet. YRC back into the corner, +10, and a pressure string, more pressure. Gotta always be careful if you try to swing into Slayer at this distance. There might be a dandy step making you whiff, and then the follow-ups can get you with a big counter hit. But the nail in the coffin this time is gonna be the command grab. Both players have utilized the throw part of the game quite well. There definitely seems to be player familiarity. Whenever you get kind of in a position where you're maybe okay blocking a lot, that's kind of like a cue for me mentally usually. Like, okay, this player kind of knows what's up and is completely fine taking some throws. Is not gonna be frazzled. Oh, that was a perfect distance, and the whiff punish and the too heavy. You have to have this tool in your toolkit. If you play against Slayer and you can't whiff punish too heavy, which has a massive amount of recovery, you're in a huge, very bad spot. That was a cool conversion using the Hand of Death or Hand of Doom there. I think should be mostly optimals that you go with that route. Ooh, pretty tricky. Whipping with the seeming meaty, and with the RC, that should be a kill there. Oh, trying to finish it with the Vortex, which has a very low-hitting hitbox. Are we blocking on the way up? Yes, we are, but a little hard to chase there. And Ralph also had the 50 meter there, I think. Very delayed cancel. Not enough just yet. The bomb ahead, catching backdash. Lots of reach there when you're coming back from that dandy step, depending on how soon you cancel. If you cancel really fast, might have some limited distance, but if you think your opponent is not going to interrupt you and let it rock all the way until the end of the dandy step, you can get some really nice reach and distance for that one. You'll be into the corner, both players with the 50. Yeah, this might be a good time to use the burst. I mean, if Ralph wants to use it this round, you probably want to use it as fast as possible, because if you go down, in the end, you want to have as much burst left for the last round as possible. That's going to be a punish. 2P into nothing, though. We do have the corner pressure still. Oh, not succumbing to the feint. 6K. Has definitely seen some of these shenanigans before. Just side switch. Waiting patiently. ZUBI is really close to that burst as well, but won't get the opportunity to use it. I think it was exactly the hit that built the burst back for ZUBI, was the hit that KO'd. So close, yet so far. Stuff like this can be like fairly common in Guilty Gear games, so you gotta think about it really carefully, like when you use the burst. For example, Ralph used the burst in this round. They might have been in the same situation potentially if if ZUBI got a really fast win, just not being able to reach that burst very fast. Because like, you get a lot of burst back from being wall broken, but both of these characters are capable of some pretty decently hard-hitting combos even without the corner. Ooh, just far slash there. Oh, was that a 6P actually? Putting Ralph in the corner, a little bit too far from the throw range and getting crushed by Master's Hammer. That's another huge starter for Slayer. Half of your life should be gone, even if missing the Ender there. Nice, caught them from the dandy step, I believe. And now, trying to be a little bit more patient, but the reach of that 2 heavy is huge for Slayer. Nice, this time the timing was right. The 2 heavy for Slayer, the biggest mistake is to poke into it with your best low-profile poke. So if your character tends to have a really good, just press it kind of 2S, those are really vulnerable to that kind of move. And you can see ZUBI mostly using far slash in order to be able to, you know, get there. Because the 2 heavy from Slayer does have a lot of low crush frames, starting from, I think, frame 5, is it? Into a throw once again. Really close to very high meter, got them with a low! Although, no wall stick yet! Waits for the burst, and it is a big clean hit! Nice RPS read there! Although, towards the end of the round, of course, Ralph didn't have too many opportunities to choose their spot anymore in terms of like where to use that burst. There's always that little sort of pendulum kind of RPS. If you hold on to the burst and let the opponent combo you, there are more opportunities for your opponent to think, maybe they will burst, so maybe I will drop my combo. But if they don't, then the situation is gonna be progressively worse for you as your life runs out. Big counter hit, immediate burst. ZUBI still believes that they might be able to make the comeback. Ooh, looks like that's not gonna be the case. One well-placed pile bunker. Might have been a very wild pile bunker as well, because Ralph had so much meter to back it up. Ooh, the chasing kind of tool. Usually the slide kind of movement tools are there to catch Slayer doing the backwards movement, special moves. But I guess Fafnir does start decently fast and chases your opponent. So another potential tool to catch their backwards moving shenanigans. Here comes the K-Map, a counter hit straight into the corner with a little pickup. So close to 50. As soon as Ralph gets that 50 meter, it's gonna be danger time. Very late PRC once again into the throw, and that's gonna be a kill, right? No, wait, that restood the opponent. Interesting. Building that 50 again. Ralph, are they gonna go for it? They are gonna go for it. We get it right here and right now and right here. However, once again, very nice timing of the throw. The interruption from ZUBI, and it's gonna be a wall break in ZUBI's favor. Back to true neutral. Perhaps Ralph has an advantage here with the 50 tension. With a really very delayed cancel again into a cross-up pile bunker. Very common kind of tool from Slayer as well. I think the startup of the P dandy step, which does allow you to cross through your opponent, is around 20-ish frames. So like reactable range if you're looking for it, but again, mental stack is a thing. If you're thinking about all the various options that Slayer could play from that position, it gets a little tricky sometimes to react and block to the right direction. You can, of course, use like a fuzzy technique of some sort, for example, fuzzy mash, which, depending on the situation, I mean, if it's like if it's exactly this kind of situation, then you're probably gonna be guard crushed and unable to do anything for a while. So you might have to just hold it. Ralph in a really nice spot. However, back throw, what can we do with it? The very delayed bandit bringer once again. Always landing into minus frames though at the end. So it's I think the big reward that ZUBI on Sol is looking for with that sort of air jumping into bandit bringer is that you're hoping for the opponent to press buttons or maybe take a throw. And that'll give you a big counter hit into a big pickup, especially in the corner. And I'll throw the wall once again. Master's Hammer, lots of plus frames. In fact, so plus that you'll often have to hold the cross-up mix-up. And this time, ZUBI was RPSing, perhaps thinking that Ralph was gonna drop the combo, but Ralph just went for it. No burst bait whatsoever. Show me the burst, I'm willing to take it. This is another layer of the burst Yomi that some players like to engage in, such as myself. Getting burst out of the opponent is always value, and technically you can't lose per se if you don't drop your combos because of hard baits. Oh, that's gonna be no. Never mind. We had this tension in the tank. So Ralph once again with the late PRC shenanigans got them with a 5 heavy into a small conversion. Strong defense from ZUBI. And hasn't been swinging that DP around all too much either. So being very patient. Definitely put the tool on the table at the start of the set, saying, okay, these DPs are gonna be coming, and then retreating to the back, so the back lines, utilizing the threat of the existence of the DP, not necessarily the actual application of it. Start with the 5k, no big conversions for Ralph. Ooh, with the dash bar slash got them before Ralph could press a button. Ooh, the Bandit Bringer actually was still able to whip punish the 2 heavy. Yeah, that just goes to show how delayed, or rather how much recovery Slayer has on that button. It is a great button, but you cannot whip it, technically. Oh, speaking of which, backdashing out of it with a big conversion. Now opting to spend the rest of the meter here. Oh, and now with the back throw. Ralph in a very decent position to potentially steal this round away after that great whip punish from ZUBI. Trying to fake maybe an escape from the corner! Boom! Instant wall stick from that pile bunker! A very interesting feature of that move in Guilty Gear Strive. No matter where you are, as long as you're not too far from the corner, it will make you stick immediately. So can fix some scenarios where you're like, oh, I don't necessarily have enough wall damage here, or maybe my gravity has decayed too much, so I need to stick right away. It's good to have tools like that. Slightly minus from the bump ahead, but I think it's not punishable. -3. Or -4, something of the sort. Ooh, caught them with the FRC as well. And again, ZUBI being very patient here. Could have maybe engaged in a hero burst kind of situation, but the more safer play is just to take it to the next round. Ooh, with the 6-pin straight in ZUBI's face. And now the pressure. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. Even if you see like bump ahead, the follow-up, or what is it? Is it It's Late? It's late in Strive as well. Both of those are slightly minus. But they can leave Slayer at a very far distance where, depending on your character's buttons, you might not be able to challenge. Let's see, do we have enough here? Ralph does not engage in the burst, tried to go for the 2 heavy mash, which is very common, even though it is a relatively slow button. The low crush frames starting at frame 5 are basically what is effectively the move startup. Because you're often... what that move is supposed to do is low crush your opponent's lows. So for that purpose, 5-frame startup. Ooh, went for the throw a little too early. I think there's a command grab as well. Now ZUBI trying to press the opponent in the corner, but again, the back throw. Waiting for the DP. The DP never comes. Ralph, ooh, nice escape from the corner. Even though Ralph still has a lot of resources to spend, getting out of the corner position is super important in order to potentially make this comeback. Ooh, that's a whip punish! Far slash! No wild assault has been spent, but all the better in this situation. We can use, ooh, nice backdash on the throw. Tap them with the 5D, have to go for the burst. Gets it. Trying to control the horizontal range with the fireball. But now, terrible situation. Potential chip kill distance as well. Ralph, after the first 4 games, has been able to get critical amount of momentum. But ZUBI has been so close. So many of these games have gone down to the wire, basically to the last RPS interaction. But you could say that in a lot of situations when you have so much... Ooh, whip there on the punish. Was that a too heavy attempt? I think ZUBI was still in the air there. Attempting the whip punish again. 6S a little slow there. That's gonna be a punish. Yep, and presses the right button as well. That is at least -7, so you can always get your close slash in there. Alright, landing from the Bandit Bringer. Sorry, Bandit Revolver. FRC into more pressure. Trying to look for a counter hit. Yeah, notices that ZUBI was quite patient there. Maybe even too passive, and a nice escape from the corner, but not without a cost, because Ralph was ready to chase that with an instant K-Mappa, I think that was. And now, Ralph, on set point position, finding a 2P, no big conversions, a hit, swinging a 5 heavy, okay, that's a big one. Into the corner you go, now it's strike throw kind of a world. Ooh, ZUBI went into a... Usually has been throwing in that position, and Ralph went for a really slow, kind of a fuzzy throw kind of beat. Like the whip punish there with the bandit revolver, doesn't find the hit, but in the follow-up situation, we look good. Ralph though, look at this tension. Ready to defend. Oh, that might have been a punish. No, just slid into a very minus position. No punish there either. Is that gonna be a kill? ZUBI is still too far away from the burst, and Ralph is gonna take it 7-2. But oh my god, the score of this match definitely does not reflect the whole story. With these two characters who have so much reach, you could sometimes even say when the characters are like at their around halfway hit point, you know that a big counter hit could potentially take them out. And when you're near the 1/3 HP threshold, ooh, that's fair game for either character. So a lot of these situations where you're holding your breath and being like, whoever's gonna get the hit here could potentially end it with a good combo, good conversion. Really cool match here for the first set of Bounty Hunters tonight. Moving on to the next one. So we're gonna have our random matches coming up next, out of which I believe it's, yeah, Spooky's match first. Got info that Jay might potentially be late, so let's put that on our bingo book, and let's get it ready for this one. So rolling sequence initiated. I think both random players tonight wanted to play with no duplicates. So that means every time we random here, the character that gets randomed into is gonna be removed from the pool. And the first random of the evening is gonna be Bedman for Spooky in the decently acquainted tier. Not the best, but pretty high up there. It's always a good sign when the player has their randomed character relatively high on the tier list. At least we can expect that it's not gonna be sort of a wash where you perhaps don't know any of your combos, don't know any of your buttons, and you should have a fighting chance. And generally how these, especially the random person versus character matchups are constructed, we're kind of trying to get the average rating of the randoming person's characters, which, you know, it can be hard to discern or hard to sort of determine, but, you know, we do our best. And try to match that average with the rating of the player that we're randoming against, right? So a very, very strange pickup here for the first matchup. Bedman versus Faust. I mean, how many of you have seen this matchup before? There are a decent amount of Faust players, but Bedman players, definitely a slightly rarer breed. Big combo towards the corner. Ooh, hammer. So basically, whenever you throw hammer in this position, that's basically a no-go zone for the Bedman player. Even if they take the air, they cannot use any of the forward moving tools of the 8-way movement in the air. Ooh, got them airborne 6 heavy. However, Raph did commit into a item throw, so no big combo out of that one, unless you get something like a hammer. Hammer is also a really nice combo tool if you have managed to get in like middle of your combo. Ooh, got the cross up there into a 6P. I blinked for a moment. I guess Mr. Milk Peddler had used the teleport there, which I missed. Alright, towards the corner. Now, big opening here would be to land exactly one of your bigger special moves, because that will make the error start counting down, and eventually it's gonna produce an automatic follow-up, which can be... Ooh. Is this still a punish after activating? No. Raph able to get the BRC in there. Missed the combo. We are still in the install mode for a moment. But wait, who's... Oh yeah, Spooky was definitely in the leading position here. So winner in that trade situation started with the 2P, 7 frames, very fast, 2S kind of a button. Really hard to combo though. I'm not even sure if Faust can get like a combo with a counter hit 2P even from round start position. Ooh, got them with the 6 heavy again. Such a huge button, like pretty much anything that your opponent could be doing other than maybe poking at you with a faster button is prone to getting caught by the 6 heavy. It is a very slow startup move though, so technically, even if we call it net play unblockable historically, oh, has the RC here. Straight YRC into the corner. Yeah, Spooky is trying to prevent Raph from playing here because we are at such a low HP threshold. Once again, starting with the mix PRC. Wild Whistle. Oh, that would be minus. However, since Raph was in the air, ended up being plus for Spooky, I believe. At a 6P, waiting for the there is definitely a little bit of RPS there. As soon as you see Bedman take the sky, and if you are at a relevant distance for potentially like going forward with the 8-way movement. Let me quickly fix this one. Put it in winner stays, so we get players out of the room, or out of the match between every single match, and roll for the next random. It is gonna be Jack O. I'm trying to find the Jack O pick. Where is it? Is it that high? No. Am I blind? Oh no, it's in the good enough category. So around the mid-tier-ish.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
I always think that, you know, super difficult characters are still pretty tricky picks to get in a random match. You know, technical characters such as Jacko, Asuka, Happy Chaos, characters like that usually are main character material. Even if you like have certain amount of fundamentals, basics with them, it's really hard to derive a full value out of them, because you usually have to practice a lot of like difficult to execute sequences, have to know a lot of stuff like that. But we can still take out the minions, we can still throw them towards the opponent, and that is gonna be an okay kind of a move against if the Faust player just tries to hang at full screen and summon, or try to roll for good items. You can always take out your minion and send it their way and be like, hey, don't do that. Ooh, the 2S actually has no reach there. 2S for Jacko has historically been the kind of button, like all characters who have this kind of like upwards moving anti-air button on their 2S, it's really easy to let your muscle memory to take over and use those in block strings when they are like, when the opponent is just way too far away. Ooh, frame trap into the blue Wild Assault. Can we get a kill? Spent the meter there? Yes, it did. Clean stuff. Noticing that the kill threshold has been breached. So take the win there. Spend all of your resources. Oh, that's gonna be a punish. Nice. Gets a full punish with a close slash. Or I mean, I say full punish, but you know, we're of course working with the combos that we can do on the random side of things. Into the corner. Ooh, we're spending a little bit of money to throw some items. Ooh, the bomb explodes in the air. And I think the banana peel was also blocked, so no huge effect from that one. Drilling actually into the minion, which allows the cancel here. The mix in that situation was kind of like a makeshift air dash out of the corner, or escape tatsu, if you will, as they say in the Street Fighter side of things. We're going under that far slash, and now, what can we do, Spooky? Do we have the minion control? It can be tough if you're, you know, canceling into one of the, like, Jacko has like very few functional special moves. A lot of her special moves are for controlling her minions, actually. I think the only like active special move is the soccer kick. Alright, let's showcase of how much damage how much control we can achieve if the opponent is just being too passive and at the other side of the screen. I do think this is probably a matchup where Faust has to be a little bit more active than Jacko. I think Jacko's like full minion control of the screen is a little bit better. This might actually catch because there's a lot of recovery. Oh, that too heavy! Boom, smack bang on the ground. Still anybody's game, but after that, trying to squeeze as much damage from that close slash conversion as possible. Now, kill threshold with the minions. This is probably Jacko's favorite position to be at. Quite the chess match that one was. Alright, let's start rolling for the next character. Yeah, it's one of those characters who you can usually expect to take a little bit of damage against. Like if you need to close in on Jacko, it's really hard to just automatically 100% bypass everything. Might sometimes have to block a minion hit or two, or an attack command or two. Goldlu is gonna be the next character for Spooky. And that also resides in the good enough category, with which Spooky just took a win. Unsure if these are ordered within the tiers.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on,
but I mean, if we have what it takes on a technical character like Jacko, then why not on Gold Lewis as well? The bane, or rather the difficulty of Gold Lewis, is learning to do clean half circles, because basically every single special move that Gold Lewis has, or all the relevant ones, the Behemoth Typhoons, are half circles. And they might start from very awkward angles, such as like if you need to start your Behemoth from an upwards angle, they can be hard to pull off, like just raw. Sometimes even outright impossible, depending on your execution level. So choosing to spend the whole security gauge here, able to get a full knockdown, pick up the horn as well. I kind of like that. So knew that in order to guarantee the horn, you probably need to spend the full security gauge. It does not come for free though, as taking out the drone is very powerful tool at neutral. Ooh, that was actually a kill there! Forcing the wall break, or rather, not just the wall, forcing the wall break. Kind of works the same way as Potemkin's Heat Knuckle. Slightly different than moves such as like Soul's DP, which sticks immediately, or Slayer's Pile Bunker, which also sticks immediately. Ooh, taking out the minigun immediately. And those, like, technically pretty good items. However, at that distance, even though the hammers do bounce like around half screen away, still ain't gonna reach full screen. Time to burn it down. Even if we get hit here, oh, it's throw RPS to be able to avoid the complete tail end of the super. Spend the burst here, or sorry, the tension here to be plus, and take out the Gold Lewis. Let's see what Lady Luck is gonna bless Spooky on this next one. We are gonna get a standard character. Leo Whitefang is the pick here. I say fairly standard character. I think the most strange thing about Leo is doing your fireballs and your DPs with a charge input. So unless you have a little bit of that guile blood in you, might be. We were actually talking about this in the Bounty Hunters Discord today. that maybe the most sort of pushing away feature of Leo. Like, Leo is such a good character, but like, why do people not play him more? One of the factors might actually be that he has a little bit of that charge input kind of a beat to him, even though the charges are really easy to pull off in Guilty Gear franchise. Oh, what are we gonna do with the bomb? Send it RalfZ way and waiting with the back turn and countering with a D. Requires quite the commitment. If you miss with that back turn D, you are literally quite wide open for just about any kind of punishment. Miss with this. Oh, tried to go for a... Didn't necessarily have to do that yet. The last hit to be landed there from RalfZ. So Spook actually able to steal it back. Around mid-screen, was it because like your combos are just not that great if you start with like a close slash on a grounded opponent? I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure how the optimal paths for Faust actually work. Now mauling in the corner. We got the 50 meter to get the hard knockdown. So the prey is gonna be laying down on the ground with the extended hurt box as well. Although usually Leo doesn't really care about stuff like that too much. You are generally mauling opponents on the ground, doing the high-lows, doing the left-rights, and that should be enough. Unless I spoke too soon. Misses with the turbulence, trying to achieve a chip kill here, but not enough. Literally last hit point for RalfZ, and that donut potentially giving health. Yeah, look at that. RalfZ just got a little bit more, so that last special move would have killed, usually. Big frame trap into the turbulence. Rare footage of donut actually making a difference. Picking it up there was a huge boon, or rather a +1 for RalfZ in order to survive the next special move. Like if you have the super low health, then you don't have the option to block. And blocking Leo's special moves generally pretty good, because like Leo doesn't really have like any sort of plus frame printers other than, is it his 2S? 2S is like the only button that you can theoretically create plus frames, but that requires you to be so close to the opponent. So being able to take a special move on block, very important against that character. But moving on to the next one, so Milia is at the rather top end of the scale as well. Not quite the top tier, but again, the can handle myself pretty well kind of tier here with Milia. So turbo fast characters like Milia and Chip have been usually the bane of characters such as, you know, Faust, who, well, I guess not necessarily Faust, because Faust is not strictly a zoner. So you could say like the fast characters are kind of nasty against characters like Axel or Testament, I guess. Generally, Faust tends to be able to handle himself fairly well, and of course the items provide a lot of utility in this kind of matchups, especially since so many items are anti-airs as well. So getting like a situational anti-air starter, especially Milia, who tends to zoom around in the air quite a bit, is super important. Speaking of those zoomings in the air, ooh, look at that 2K anti-airing the bad moon from so high a high position. If there is one character in the game who has a lot of anti-airs, it is this one, Faust. You do have to sort of pick your spots, like where to use those. Like you have your 2K, your 2S, your 6P, your 5K, you name it. But you need to be able to choose the right place for the right tool if you want to make it work. That's kind of the difficulty with anti-airing on Faust. And drill out of the corner. Spooky says no, but then RalfZ says yes, but then Spooky says no again. Through the wall you we go. But look at this, so much tension on RalfZ's side. One hit could be a kill right there, even though Milia still has like 1/3 of her life bar left. That's a close slash. Ooh, such a clean hit. Misses the pickup though. Looking for potentially one more. 6P into, has to RC this for more pressure. Spooky immediate deflection into Septum Voices. And on block, that's gonna be fairly plus. So we can start it here. Turbo fall to make the cross-up happen. At a very safe spacing as well. I missed it. I think I think Raph no longer had any relevant resources there, but if they did, that would have been an excellent way to try to evade it. Unless if it's like Deflect Shield. Melee is really vulnerable against Deflect Shield, actually, if you can pull it off perfectly. Especially the Deflect Shield OS. Basically, if Melee like performs any kind of disc, like if she engages on the disc that she just said, then like the Deflect Shield option select is gonna be so nasty and calls out like almost all of her available options. So Zato, where is Zato in the list? Rather on the list. Only little experience here. So this is gonna be potentially the weakest character so far that Spooky has randomed into during this set. And it can be extra hard with all the items lying around and the massive hitboxes that the Faust can produce. If you want to try to get like any sort of gameplay with your puppet. But we do actually get a little bit there. Summoning into the post there was able to get a pretty decent anti-air angle. But now Raph pressuring in the corner, the little guy. Also hanging in the back in case something sneaky happens. Another little guy and a bomb. Actually 2 bombs jumping out of it. Plus frames with the bomb bag. Really nice follow through. So once again, paying attention to what items you're throwing. The little guy is holding down the fort. And leading up to the 2 bomb explosions, which of course you as a Faust don't really want to take. Bouncing hammer, holding down the fort again, even though the Deflect Shield kind of landed. That will not erase the projectiles that are, oh, still hits. Throwing another, oh no, that was actually not a hammer, that was just a donut. So a dud item there. Engaging with the minion here, no unsummon, so we are gonna burn out. Such a hard character to control, Zato. Basically, it's usually been the sort of theme in Arc System Works games that the puppet characters are usually maybe perhaps some of the hardest characters to control, and Zato is no exception here on Guilty Gear Strive. I mean, I guess there's the factor that Zato is currently not the best that he's been during the lifespan of the game, but I mean, even if he was a strong character, even if he was a top tier character, yeah, it still does not change the fact that he is really hard to control, because you technically have to control 2 entities at once. So Chip here on the next one, once again in the relatively high tier, on the second topmost tier for Spooky. So good opportunity to do stuff here, especially since Chip has had such a huge makeover, such a like a U-turn from old games. Chip used to be one of the hardest characters to control in the whole franchise. And on top of that, he was so pixie as well. So like one mistake and you're done. But in Guilty Gear Strive, they sort of changed him a little and made him a little bit more standard than what he was in the past. Some of the huge shenanigans, such as like that FTC left, right, teleports, stuff like that, has been removed and replaced with more standard kind of like whip punishy stuff and neutral powerhouse. I mean, Chip has always, ooh, we're just chanting it, are we? Do we get the punish though? No, the timing on the punish of the Zanzei Roga, especially when fired off mid-screen. You have to have the timing to dash into the right direction, lest you might run into. First of all, you might run into the wrong direction, but you might also turn your dash into a backdash that will lock you in position and you're gonna miss your punish opportunity. Right, pressuring towards the corner with the double alpha blades. Very tricky. Need to know which direction to block and be ready for it. Approaching from the sky with that super... Oh, straight into the banana peel. Da, 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 da. So we have a Afro on board. Bunky Messai gonna miss completely, although the slight delay there on the recovery of the Bunky Messai, holding Spooky basically right under Raph as he threw the Afro. Very little health left. Would be nice to trigger the little guy. Ooh, don't even need that. Just challenging there after the jump in. was a kind of tough position for Spooky. If you perform a tight block string from that jump in, the little guy is still gonna be coming for you afterwards, so you're kind of committed into a throw at that point, or just disengaging from the situation. But can you disengage with that health against Zato? Next random is gonna be May, situated in the good enough tier, slightly below the top tier characters for Spooky. And of course, reminder, these are not really like standard tier lists. These are basically the player's self-evaluations. How well can I pilot this character? Or these characters, rather. Ooh, that's gonna be a punish straight into a close slash. Spooky has been really good at... in fact, all of our participants tonight have been really good at taking the close slash punish when it is due. Funky interaction there with the hammer earlier. Alright, basically blazing out of the situation. OTG close slash and a summon. Unfortunately, the item is quite passive. Burst in order to challenge who gets the horn first. You see a lot of these kind of interactions where in a neutral kind of position, Faust throws an item that both players want to pick up, usually the horn. And then you tend to use a lot of resources, or, you know, some players might want to use a little bit of resource to contest it, get it first, because it is an advantage on the next interaction at neutral. Ooh, nice! Was able to dash forward to make that up dolphin with. There is definitely a little bit of... Oh, nice anti-air! Mix, OTG hit. Didn't get the perfect combo that it was probably looking for. And now, how much damage can we derive from these combos? Misses the pickup, but into a happy little accident, as we say. We get the reset into a wall break and positive bonus. There's gonna be so much on the account of Spookyboi here. Gonna have to work for this win for sure. 100 meter in the tank for Raph though. Ooh, bait the bird, and that's gonna be the nail in the coffin. Spooky evens it up 4-4. Has been getting a lot of these middle of the road character on the self-evaluation chart. So like the second topmost characters and the third topmost characters. I mean, realistically, you have most of the characters in those power tiers. So I think really decently balanced spread for Spooky as far as that is concerned. This is kind of what you want to have. And by the way, this is, I believe, Spooky's main character, or at least the most played character. So we are literally hitting the jackpot here with Johnny. If this is not a wash, then usually like when you random into a character that belongs to your best piloted characters, it is a huge shame if the opponent can take that match away from you. Although it's not always so easy, like you're bouncing from character to character, so you might not be ready to play that character that you usually play the most. Like your muscle memory might be all over. It takes a lot as a randoming player. I mean, also as your opponent to adjust to what the hell is going on at the moment. But it, like, jumping from muscle memory to muscle memory can be tough, especially if you don't play all of your characters on a regular basis. As we say, ooh, big frame drop into a 5 heavy, immediate burst there from Raph. And now you're gonna take this guard crush mix-up. It is TK Mist Fighter, the most common option. Go for it again. Unless you have a setup or meter. I think Spook was hoping to get the meter in time, so went for the PK Mist Fighter, didn't build the meter, and just got the hit. And then it's like small advantage, I guess, in the corner. Ooh, using exactly the right button for the job. Jump slash from Johnny. Very massive horizontal reach. But now, the containment zone has somewhat been set. Although, despite the little guy triggering, Raph wasn't able to get a lot of stuff started with that. But it is understandable. This is Spooky's main after all. Ooh, look at that! The reaction there, or might have not actually been a reaction, but just sort of like, if you're doing anything from that distance, if you're summoning an item, I'm gonna come for you. And yeah, this is exactly what you were kind of expecting. with the main, rolling hard, no mercy whatsoever. Taking the lead here as we're sort of starting to reach the tail end of the set. Axel is next. And Axel would be situated. It's in the third tier once again. So not the strongest, but definitely not the bottom 4. This is of course super important round for both players. Spooky, if he manages to take this set here, it's gonna go up to 6, which is a really comfy position to sit at if you're the one to get there first. But if Raph manages to get it, it's gonna be 5 points even, and the roll of the wheel continues. We actually have quite a few like super strong characters left for Spooky still. So I'm thinking, even if Raph gets the win here, I'm sort of biased towards Spooky having perhaps advantage here on the remaining rounds, unless you get really unlucky and get one of the bottom 4. Oh, got them with the command grab. The longer the oh no, the banana peel again. We are number 1 moment. Back to shot of the 6 heavy. And of course, at the full screen distance, you are always at an advantage as Axel, because you do have a tool, or you actually have a couple of tools that can reach them. The command grab being the other one. Couple of extra Axel bombers there. One more for the road. No, not quite. Trying to reach for the wall break with the jump heavy. A little slow there, especially after the recovery of the second Axel bomber. Nice, that's a counter play for sure. But shield completely missed, so Spooky is gonna be missing that 50 burst that was just lost there going into this. Oh, starting with the Axel bomber. I guess that's a move that can low crush some common low starters, such as like I guess 2P from Faust is probably one of the ones that you're hunting for. Oh, the 6 heavy, the big hitbox, working as an anti-air. Yet another button that can do that for Faust. Oh, the big commit into a dash, got them with the anti-air, but and have a good escape from the corner as well. Going, wow, back and forth. PRC the command grab, I think a little too early, tried to do it again, but Raph was on point, 6 heavy, big counter hit. That's a kill, right? Because the last hit, yeah, absolutely, the last hit is so much damage. So we do go toe-to-toe here once again, 5-5. But I'm trying to remember which characters are still available. There's at least 5 really good picks here for Spooky. And in fact, we are gonna go into one of those picks. So Giovanna, one of the top 5, or sorry, the top 6 in the tier chart. It's gonna be a tough one again, isn't it, for Raph? That is exactly what I was talking about. The remaining characters in the pool, there are considerably more high-tier picks here for Spooky than there are low-tier picks. As long as we avoid a couple of those like super bad ones.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1.
Alright, what can we do with the zooming doggy riding on her back? Wild Assault to get this thing started, and usually like when you spend Wild Assault mid-screen like that, you're also looking for the corner carry, especially for the OVA users. Ooh, Far Slash working as a makeshift anti-air there. Speaking of anti-airs, oh, the angle was not good with that 6 heavy though. It was really close to be working as an anti-air, but Spooky did get in with that super. Right, escaping the corner with a jump 2K into mix. We are kind of reaching the threshold where Giovanna's massive counter hits could be the nail in the coffin. Nice escape there. Gonna be careful, waiting for the explosion. Can't combo out of that though. The timing of the bomb wasn't quite right, so I think it hit as OTG. I mean, to begin with, the items in Guilty Gear Strive are not the best combo tools either. Like in the past, they've been really good in terms of like gravity decay, but in Guilty Gear Strive they actually prorate quite a bit. So it's generally like mediocre, like decently hard to combo off of them more than like a couple of hits. Waiting for the explosion. And of course, the most common play after setting an explosion that both players have to respect, go out of the explosion radius, put yourself in the air, and throw the lava bag. Ooh, no super there for Spooky. I was thinking that he was probably looking for it. Now the Spiral Arrow RC, is that gonna be enough? 6 heavy, not quite enough. Looking for one more hit. But the same conundrum is open for Raph. Any hit. Oh, that's gonna be able to punish though. No, unless we go for a button too slow. Look at that, anti-air super actually able to tag Raph on the cross-up situation. Raph must have pressed something to extend himself into it. All right, starting with a throw. Exactly equal situation here. Lots of junk in the way. Gotta be careful with that banana peel. Raph engages from the sky in order to avoid his own banana peel. RC for pressure. Yeah, the differential, I think, wait, the timing wasn't quite right, looks like. Both players exploding on the bomb. However, that's not going to be favorable for Spooky, because you are slightly lower than your opponent. In fact, you're way lower health than your opponent at the moment. So any trade is going to be disastrous for Spooky's Giovanna. Found the frame trap with the second hit of the 2S, I think. Great to have absolutely great to have a multi-hitting low in these pressure situations. 5K into a throw, trying to shimmy. There is no throw, only mash. Was that a hammer? Oh, the forward moving momentum, maintaining Spooky safe. However, it is still a super on block, so there is no escape. Even if Spooky managed to avoid that hammer, his fate was sealed. Damn, that was a great upset victory, I want to say, for Raph. Being able to take one of the top picks from Spooky, absolutely have to be able to do that in order to win this set. Venom is gonna be next, and I think, oh sorry, I used the wrong UI, but Venom is the next pick, and I think, yeah, Venom is one of the bottom 4. So big opportunity here for Raph to close it out. Finally. Or I mean, no, wait, we did have Zato earlier, so it was just the bottom 3 left, basically. But we do random into it, and now, huge burden for Spooky to be able to save this set still. We gotta be able to clear this quotation bad matchup in terms of the, you know, not really bearing any, no bearing on the actual matchup in, you know, theoretical vacuum. But maybe the player's execution affecting the matchup here, or familiarity with the character. Burst into the corner. Nice, able to tag them on the way out. Spooky almost had a free escape, but then Raph came in and said, no free escapes here. Well, that's gonna be a punish though. However, miss input, summoning into a ball. And as a result, you're gonna be so low health. I think I saw meteors as well, so the stinger is a death sentence for Spooky. Set point. 6-5 on Raph. At the very end, making great plays and getting great luck, great alternative luck. Oh, gonna explode themselves. But once again, the gravity decay is quite a bit in Guilty Gear Strive, so Spooky wasn't quite able to pick up that bomb combo. Mix towards the corner. What can we do here? This could, summoning. Oh, I mean, that's, I think that's not a reversal, but it is a rather fast super. So there is still a chance. 75 meter for Raph. Are we gonna do it right here? No RC opportunity. Go into a teleport instead. Sending the bomb right at Raph. Have to block. One stinger. could be what we need here. Oh, it's not enough. We can crawl under as well. Teleport into a big counterplay. Raph was definitely looking for that for the duration of the last like 3-4 shots. And on the fourth one, unleashing the super. Did get hit a couple of times. That was actually super close. The last stinger that hit was so close to take Raph out, especially since this is Zero Guts character. So you're gonna be taking the full brunt of that that projectile. But close is not. Close is not. Close only gets you so far. With the small pixel difference, Raph the Milkman is gonna take this set. And with that set, we're gonna move to the next random of the evening. This is gonna be Jay versus Miku. Let's jump straight into the... Oh, does Miku actually have an updated version? Let me check. Is this... So switch to this view. Has something changed between the previous tier list? Okay, there are a decent amount of changes, so I'm gonna pull this up and let's see, how are we gonna do this? So try to make it as compact as possible. So give me a second. I'm gonna be working some magic here behind the scenes. Because I did not entertain the possibility that, because we've had both these random players on a random match recently, so I was just like, okay, maybe nothing has changed, but we get a new list here for Miku. Okay, save that and import here. Sorry about the delay. Oh, I actually butchered it. Let me go back to paint. Freak. Yeah, of course you have to crop it because paint works like that. My Microsoft Paint skills are something unfathomable. There we go. That's the picture that we wanted. Okay, so let's get this. Let's get this here. Fit it on the screen as well. Okay, we can work with that. So that'll be the updated power tiers for Miku. Actually do the last minute thingies after rolling. So first random for Miku is gonna be Abba. Fix the name in a better place as well. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, OBS. Wait, why can't I move this? There we go. Okay. Streaming is a blowout. Okay, so the Abba pick straight into the super great tier. Oh yeah, I was so absorbed. Okay, never mind. We got both players in the lobby and diving in. Miku randoming into a really good pick right off the get-go. And the opponent tonight from Miku's random is gonna be Jayce Sin. A powerful character in his own right as well. Started with one special tap into the corner, spent one for plus frames for basically all of your special moves. Only the hoof stomp is an exception in that sort of way. Good block on the overhead for Raph. Sorry for Jay, living in the past still. Miku getting an install here. This is the moment where you're usually like, oh shit, I need to run away, I need to stall as much as possible. However, Miku here going for a slightly safer play. Going for an uninstall. Ooh, almost a perfect backshot opportunity, but missed the close slash there. Usually when you hit a V-driver super high up in the air like that, you can get interesting combo opportunities. Installing into 5B anti-air. Immediate burst here by Jay. Ooh, got hit by the 2 heavy. I think it was the second hit actually. The DP is gonna be whiffing, so now big damage. I mean, you can still deal quite a lot of damage as the normal body if you get a close slash starter. It's gonna be around like 1/3 of your opponent's hit points. And most importantly, it's gonna spice up your... Ooh, I think the far slash is gonna lose here. Yes, indeed. So this is gonna be wall break straight from the extended round start position. Low slash very close to anti-airing there, but not quite. With 1 stamina left in the tank. What can we do? What is that? What is that FRC? I've never seen that momentum cancel before. Too bad it didn't actually like get a whole lot of value, I guess, for Jayce. Damn, that was pretty cool. Even as a Sin player, never seen that one before. But yeah, being able to start with a very decent pick right from the get-go, getting the first point on the board for Miku. Faust is gonna be the next one. And Faust would be... Oh. Okay, so definitely contrast here. From the best tier into the not so confident tier. Also, do note that there is technically a 0 experience tier here for Miku. However, Miku does feel like they don't really have like any like absolutely hopeless characters, and that kind of shows how sort of well suited Miku is as a player tackling the random button.
Let's rock.
So I think we flip positions as well. Alright, going for the close slash and immediately into the jump cancel burst bait. Jay still holding the opponent in the corner. Could have actually picked that up, the basic B&B hoof combo, without spending any resources. But I mean, you do what you gotta do. Finding a 2K into a hoop stomp. We can spend 2 to be so close to that last bit of tension. Not quite building enough to get the wall break. Would definitely be a kill. But now we can spend it on the next hit. And it is always party time as Simkiss. When you have that 2 stamina available, you can do so much. And this character also converts one type of resource into another pretty effectively. I mean, not as well anymore, like if you're trying to convert tension and burst into stamina. That's a little bit harder in Season 4. But I mean, there's still the sort of that same concept applies. Both players rushing for the horn, but it is unfortunately Miku who ends up picking up in the end and interrupts the RTL. Just going into a potentially kill combo. Nice snipe out of the air with the jump heavy, and it should be it. Again, the last hit, so much damage. PRC into a respect as well there at the end of the round to celebrate the big victory. Ooh, with a raw blue wild assault, was able to catch a hit on Jayce. But ran out of stamina there. it's always really important to look at your opponent's stamina, because if they have none to spend, then every single special move is gonna be punishable. Especially these ones that move the Sin player towards you, such as Elk Hunt and Hoof Stomp. Usually leave you in a position where you are in your jab punish range, at least. Oh, interesting! Straight into a DP from that cancel. Okay. That was a fast-ass reaction. RTL, I think Miku did press something here. Yeah, I recognize that it could have been very tempting for Jayce to try to go for the 4th hit of the RTL here, but probably recognized that we're not close enough. And if I try to go for the 4th hit with like 0 extra tension to spend, it's actually not gonna reach. So good decision making there at the end for Jay. Let's see what the next random is gonna be. Oh, is it a Sin Mirror? Sin Mirror? Yeah. So Miku's Sin would be at the basics tier. The most interesting conundrum would probably be if we have like the opponent's character in your in your like basically average category. Because then like it's sort of like a did the matchmakers actually manage to nail it perfectly kind of a situation. But Sin Mirror here.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Miku once again in the left side, or sorry, on the right side. Potentially going for a burst bait here, not spending the 2nd stamina to go for the full corner break. Ooh, trying to frame kill with the 5 BP into 6k. Slight mistiming there. There technically is no pressing buttons out of there. Even the 2-frame throw should get caught. Ooh, what a bait there. What a frame kill. Uses Elk to set up the 2 heavy afterwards. No frames to press there. Slowdown of the blue RC. Giving Miku to advantage, plus frames. Yeah, no pressing here. However, no big conversion for Miku either. And misses the opportunity to go for the super as well. Drifting forward straight into 5k. Get a 5k from Sin. Hits relatively high up into the air. So is another optional, or whatchamacallit, situational anti-air as well. So Miku up around with the double jump slant straight into the anti-air of Miku's. Interesting attempt to combo there. I think it was a 2D into gazelle step. With 1 BNB conversion, should be able to get a kill. Making sure that we do get the... No, never mind! Missing the follow-up there. Big value lost for Miku, unfortunately. And now, Jay is gonna take that wall break instead. With the jump slash, good backdash out of the throw. No true punish here, but getting hit on the follow-up situation. Hoof stomp once again, crushing the 2k. Does work for certain lows, as long as you're not working with a DLC 2k. Oh, did Miku press a button? Did they try to anti-air? The answer is no, and had the right punish as well. I think on the... Ooh, went for it again, and I think this time, no drifting forward. There we go. Getting the right option this time. I think the best conversion there is like close slash dash cancel, close slash into whatever you want to go for. And Miku clearing the mirror match here. Having the basics on point. This can be a huge kind of deal on your ego if you get taken out by the opponent's mirror character. But of course, you gotta always consider what is the power level of the opponent's character as well. Because like we said, we're usually attempting to match, the character locked opponent to sort of target around the mid tier of the randoming players' sort of core characters. And if you're fighting against the character is higher than average, then it can be hard. So Ramlethal is the next pick here. And she is, let's see where. In the good tier, so relatively high. Early opportunity for Miku to potentially turn on the heat and start building a little bit of momentum. But it is often a bumpy ride with random picks. Because on a moment's notice, you could swing from some of your best characters to some of your worst characters. Although, once again, referencing Miku's tier list, we don't actually have that many like super bad characters. Even the worst tier is not the 0 XP tier. It's just, you know, not confident. So, what's the deal here? Is the cabinet not working, perhaps? Do we have a Guilty Gear try moment? I think is what we're working with here. Okay, both players able to get back into the cabinet. So Ram, a relatively good pick here from the random wheel for Miku. And I think generally like pretty okay character pick against Sin as well. Basically any character that can match or even beat Sin at, you know, effective range. It's usually a little like, if not disadvantageous, but if not disadvantageous, then hard to play matchup for Sin, because you're so used to dominating the neutral with your, you know, range of your pokes and the damage damage that those pokes will lead into. And Ramlethal does kind of like beat your range with 5 heavy having, you know, more reach than Beak Driver, and Far Slash having a little bit more reach than Sin's Far Slash. Ooh, straight into the mortar battle here. Good guess for Miku. Starting with the 2S. What did that counter poke? Was that one of the jab buttons? Right, time to spend stamina. And good delay there on the burst on Miku's side as well. It's usually like against resource characters such as like Nago, Sin, you usually want to wait for them to spend their resource on the combos, if applicable. Ooh, the delayed explosion here, forcing the burst out of Jay. RC, is this still? This could be really close to a kill, not quite. Even with the stamina burn, tried to throw a sword that wasn't quite there yet, I think. Now the comeback attempt. We could have a wall break here. Oh, but just the back jump into jump slash coming down, the opponent missing their poke. 1-1 situation and almost equal amount of burst available as well. Ooh, Gazelle step, we're tricky here. Trying to confirm into the DP, however, the opponent was blocking that time. Able to backdash out of the situation. Ooh, the sword throw still having a situational anti-air hitbox there. Out of the corner. Ooh, the jump D though. The jump D is gonna stall your momentum too much. If the opponent went for a normal anti-air, we can actually reverse here. Okay, we can go this direction as well. Even if you don't reverse in the back to corner situation, you are still gonna take the opponent into the other corner and then potentially guarantee yourself or like get yourself an opportunity to deal even more damage. Now again, big question, did Miku press? Did press this time? It was a counter hit though, which means you have to delay between your first and the second hit of the RTL. Small timing issues, but finding the hit with the full tank of tension there. Able to go into the 2 stamina burn. Jayce evens it up 2-2. On a matchup as well that was kind of iffy if you're gonna be able to, you know, beat your opponent here if you're Jayce. Giovanna looks like is gonna be the next random. So another character from the top tier, the top shelf picks. We did use the Abba already, but still having the Geo, the Asuka, and the Jacko ready to be utilized. Looks like this. There was also a talk of there being a little bit of lag there, but hopefully we'll be able to play this all the way through without too many problems.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So, duel one.
So one of the top picks for Miku in a matchup that is generally considered like quite even. Of course, you do have the range advantage on Sin, but you are also extremely prone to getting whiff punished if you just, you know, swing into Giovanna's massively good whiff punish game. Escaping the corner, however, not escaping the active frames of those far slashes. Or far slash, I mean, it's a triple hitter for pressing your button once. And Miku securing a pretty decent advantage here on the first round. 100 meter in the tank, and that not only means that you get to spend a lot of meter, you also go into your pseudo install mode that activates when you either get 50 meter or 100 meter, which basically is just the damage and defense modifier upgrade, if I recall correctly. So it's a really cool feature, especially for newer players when you don't quite have the ability to burn meter as well as a professional player. You still get a little bit of value out of having a lot of meter in your tank. Although often enough, like even good players will probably save a little bit of that meter because there is an extra incentive to do so. There is value in it. Good 2K there on the elk hunt, but this time Jay dashes into a 6P. 6P is pretty good for countering like a lot of Giovanna's moves. It's gonna counter 5K, it's gonna counter 5 heavy, far slash as well. Ooh, from the air, actually able to connect the DP there. I'm surprised. Although for the last hit, it was a little bit too far to get the full sequence, as we say. Still a really good round for Jayce. Miku starting the last round with a full stick of butter, which we are gonna spend into this massive wall carry. Look at that! That is value! Half your opponent's life gone. Try to go for an instant air dash, empty throw. No sir, though. Here comes Jayce with the conversion. Misses the last hit of the DP, unfortunately. Ooh, that's a big close slash. No small anti-airs here, no 5P, no 6P. We're gonna close slash for the huge money. Once again ready. The throw on the landing. We still have the stamina. Break the wall. Could still be anybody's game. Really, relatively close on the live situation. Oh no, missed the throw. Big counter hit, and then the bait. Still alive. Oh, this beats the spiral arrow. Do we have enough? I'm not quite sure if that amount of tension would have been enough to connect, but I think, again, it's the same deal. I think Jayce probably was thinking like, no, the fourth hit can't reach here, so no reason to take a risk. Get the win with standard play instead. That'll put Jayce in 1 game lead here. And rolling for the next one. Gonna be Testament, another very interesting matchup. Let's see where Testament is on the power tier, so relatively high. In fact, the first character in the good tier. Interesting matchup in the sense that, again, one of the few matches for Sin Kisk where the opponent actually has the range advantage on you, but you don't in fact care all that much.
Duel 1.
Because you have a lot of really good tools for, you know, either whiff punishing or just contesting them. Especially with Beak Driver and Elk Hunt, if played at the right moments. Okay, backdashing out of the pressure. It's probably expecting. No, the bursts can't, or I mean that could evade gold burst, right? Speaking of the burst, Miku is gonna use the blue burst aggressively. Went for a little bit too close. Was that a Kara Crow? In fact, that took Miku to the throw range, or was there just too much dash momentum? Unfortunate. Usually would put you in a really good position if the opponent can't interrupt you. Oh, look at that. There is another big heart reach tool here. Instant air dash jump heavy will work if the opponent does go for one of the grounded fireball variants. All right, collides with the crow. That is the nature of the RPS. If you try the instant air dash as sort of a reaction or as a prediction to like one of the grounded fireballs, then you will often enough get caught by the crow. Well, ooh, that was a really fast counter burst. And could potentially teleport out of the corner. Nope, just utilizes it for the curse. 5K gets low profiled initially with the elk hunt. What are we doing here? Cursing the opponent. Ooh, but the backwards defensive movement of Jayce. Able to dissipate the curse. And now we need to work on it again. Nice. Opponent was elk hunting straight into the homing crow. Is the follow-up. Guided by the reversal. Oh, there's the teleport RPS. Most prominent when the Testament player's back is against the corner. You use your S fireball, and then in the follow-up situations, you're like, okay, are you trying to rush me? And if so, then the possession gets you out of there. But if not, you could buy a little bit of breathing room as they're trying to position themselves around the succubus marker in order to sort of camp you out if you would actually teleport into it. Oh, that's gonna be a miss and a jump D. That was a really creative starter here for Jayce. Nice once again. Ooh, I think that works. On a counter, that's absolutely gonna be a combo and a wall break. Jay. And catching the backdash with the forward moving momentum of Hoof Stomp. Great, interesting place there. It actually hasn't really occurred to me that if I get a jump heavy hit, of course that would go into RTL as well. So if you don't want to sort of risk the execution on the grounded combo, you could in fact just go into the super immediately. And these are the small kind of adjustments that you definitely should implement if you are not like super confident in your execution. All right, next random is gonna be Axel. And Axel is... where is Axel? I was about to say, hopefully not at the top, because this is generally considered one of the not so fun matchups for Sin. Definitely a character that sort of overthrows you completely in terms of reach. And Sin players, they don't like that shit. We don't like that shit. Ooh, starting with the Axel Bomber. However, I think Jay had the perfect counter to that round start option. Yeah, using FD for good measure to push Jay away, so that the Hoof Stomp is gonna miss afterwards. Waiting for the burst. All right, spending only one stamina for the combo and keeping the opponent in the corner. Burst on it. Make Miku stay in the corner. However, has been able to get decent... oh, never mind. No real estate for you. No escape from the corner. It's definitely like one option that you could... or like one way you could approach the situation. If you manage to get the hit on the opponent as Axel, you don't necessarily leave the corner, but you're gonna sort of still maintain the maximum distance advantage to your opponent. But if they manage to close the distance again, then of course that's quite bad for you, because you didn't take the opportunity. Oh, would this hit? No. So I just recovered way too fast. It is an option if the Axel player throws like a neutral tornado though. Although the more common option is to just beak driver through it. Because I think a tornado is kind of coded to not interact with the hurt box of your moves if you're at a certain distance, right? Oh, the very delayed Hoof Stomp. However, ran out of stamina, unfortunately, and that's gonna be a punish. This time, Miku not missing the opportunity to put the punish on the low stamina special moves. And next one is gonna be, oh yes, one of my favorites, Unica. Unica tends to be rather high on the lists of people who play randoms. And it is the case for Miku as well, in the good tier. Unica is like, I want to say Unica is even more basic character than the King Kai himself, right? In a way, since like the beam fireball is much more closer to what Street Fighter represents as fireballs, because like standard fireballs are kind of easy to dodge and kind of easy to evade in Guilty Gear games. However, an instant beam is a little bit harder to get out of, right? So it resembles Street Fighter fireballs as much as they could be represented in a Guilty Gear game. Oh, tried to press a button there, straight into close slash. Switching positions back and forth. Oh, got the hit confirmed there on the blue greed sever. Ah, missing the ender. So Jay getting an opportunity to get out of the corner. Ah, but sealing the deal with the DP. Both these characters have very tricky kind of DPs. I mean, I guess Sin no longer has the like super annoying DP factor because it's more normalized now, and there is no RPS between the hits, right? If you do it right. But what Unica has for her DP is one of the furthest reaching second hit DPs of the game. I think I saw close slash, right? Yep. So this is gonna work out. Put the opponent in the corner, start with the close slash, very basic stuff. Oh, good escape there. While the opponent is sort of concentrating on closing the path on the ground and or trying to pressure you, those are opportunities for you to jump out and air dash out of the corner pressure. Big back throw into what looks like a safe jump. Ooh, trade perhaps in Jay's favor. However, those instant air dashes, if the opponent blocks, they don't produce too much, frame advantage for you. And squeezing every little inch out of the last conversion. That was, I think, had no stamina to go for a follow-up hit. This is a big one. Ooh, I've actually never seen this route. So that was a 5-heavy counter hit into a wild assault. It's slightly rare, kind of a confirm, because you can actually get a full wall break confirm even without using burst resources there on Unica. Try to anti-air with a 5k. No dice this time. Zero stamina conversion, goes for a reversal super. However, with 100 meter in the tank, we'll be able to really save. OTG greed over red overhead. Right, making sure that conversion happens. It's interesting, I think Jay tends to do the RC here, whereas you can, in fact, like if you go for the hoof stomp, oh, there we go. Once again, had this in the first game as well, but going for the good burst read once again when it matters a lot. Moving Jayce up to 5 versus Miku's 3 points. But it's definitely one small kind of so Sol is the next one for Miku in the OK tier. So I guess that's like OK tier is, considering what we saw earlier from Miku, OK tier should be probably slightly better than average, right? Because Miku played the basics tier Sin really well earlier, leading me to believe that, if the basics tier performs that well, maybe the OK tier is just way above average then. Alright, so DP matchup here, gotta be really careful if you like to use Sin 2 heavy. And 2 heavy cancels into basically anything but Beak Driver. Has a gap, and that means the opponent can mash a DP. Going under here. Ooh, caught that with the second hit of the 2 heavy. There is a small advantage using that 2 heavy, even if it is kind of dangerous on block. It is a low, and it... Basically, if you want to cancel into your special move, it leaves only 5 frame of gap there between 2 heavy and special moves. Ooh, big counter hit. Do we have the combos to get into? Super, maybe a little too high up in the air to go for a big Tyrant Rave. Ooh, I think this hits right. Yes, indeed. Jump heavy will get beaten by the RTL through the wall. Hard knockdown. Opportunity to steal this. Wait for a throw PRC, was that? Once again, maybe waiting for the DP. However, Miku staying patient, staying tight, not swinging with anything super risky there that could end the round immediately. And if you do, like if you swing with a throw, then better have the 50 meter to purple RC it to do the option select. Ran out of stamina mid conversion again. It is the 2 heavy that it's doing the work for Jay. Oh, the extended range of the command grab will be able to catch Jay by the collar. Burst out of here, don't want to get wall breaking just yet. And we have the full stick of stamina ready to be used. Missed the close slash pick up there. And collided straight with the strike from Miku. Oh, but right back at you. Close slash starter. Sending another 2 heavy. However, out of stamina, doesn't matter. Jay even surrounds 1-1. This is actually a super important one. Miku probably has to get this one in order to be still like fairly confident that we can steal this set back, right? Nice, just a 5B tap. While Sin is trying to do jump D in the sky. Going for it again, however, the jump D very, let's say, like, relatively weak hitbox. So as long as your opponent is hitting any buttons, can be anti-aired fairly easily. Ooh, Miku with a lot of meter here. Lots of options, goes for the backdash BRC, instant overhead. Mixing it up and still in it to win it. Doesn't let Jayce run away with the 6-point lead. Absolutely crucial for Miku to get that round. Let's see, next is gonna be Baiken for Miku. Once again in the OK category. Baiken players waking up. Yeah, Baiken is probably being the most popular character in Bounty Hunters as of recent. We've basically moved from the era of Nagoriyuki into the era of Baiken, as Baiken has basically reached the sort of the maximum power level, or like the highest power level that the potential woman has had so far in Guilty Gear Strive. Probably in the best position that she's ever been, arguably, at the moment. Going for the cross-up. Oh, did we press a button? This is a very high angle, so it's gonna miss. Ooh, interesting. No cancel there. I guess you usually see the jump slash into Yozen to make sure that you land into some amount of plus frames. Big counter hit from the sky, warranting the burst out of the corner. And in fact, gets the max value out of it. The burst pays off, and we are able to steal the round back. As Miku. Ooh, that's a big one. Chose the wrong special move to cancel into, though. Combo ends there with the hoof stomp. No worries, we're still going. Full stamina. Again, missing the linker there, unfortunately. And Miku ready to RPS out. Oh, wait a second. Did we go for... That was an interesting option. Went for a 2 heavy there after seeing the post or the RC flash. Neutral situation, nice. Saw the startup of El Canso, went for something super fast. One more. Oh, that Yozan is gonna get beaten by the RTL. We got a delay. No, there's not enough delay. However, there is delay on the melee situation, which completely beats out the Hiragi. Missing a throw. Oh my god. Any hit is gonna be good. Slide straight into the throw range. And the big commit to the back throw for Jayce. Saves that round. And still allows Jay to fight for a position to go up to 6 again. Quick tap on the Yozan. However, didn't quite have the 50 meter there yet. On the descending Yozan, though, we'll be able to combo without the expenditure of 50 meter. Or wait, was there 50 meter sank it under that? No, there wasn't. Only the super at the end. Ooh, trying to shimmy. However, no reaction from Miku. And a big dunk there, waiting, basically staying stationary. And with that delayed parry there, we'll be able to catch the 5 heavy, the big swing from Jayce. Evening it up 5-5. All right, we are moving on to the championship rounds here. What do we got left? So, one super low tier character has been gone through. Happy Chaos. Happy Chaos, huh? Where is that guy? That guy is relatively high. So I would say the Lady Luck is smiling here, as Miku is getting another really good hit in order to potentially swing this set in their favor here. Oh, wait, got hit between those hits? Jump slash jump heavy and a frame trap? Interesting. Trying to rush in. Good reaction there. So notice that the opponent was in the air, so even if Miku missed all the shots, going for the 6P there at the end of the dash. Switch position with that taco kick, big counter hit. Can we get the wall break? So, oh, actually, was able to build the meter from the concentration. That would take a little bit of like extra keen eye to know that using that special move does actually build you a little bit of tension. Now with this conversion, we should be good. Wall break and, yep, any normal is gonna get it. Yep, once again, another really common round start there for Happy Chaos. Use the 2S, and the name of the sort of name of the with the mix-up. The name of the game usually for Happy Chaos is try to make the opponent block something so that you can guaranteed pull out the gun and then mix them up. Really low concentration here though. Gonna have to play the main buddy for a couple of seconds. However, that is potentially an opportunity for Jay to strike back. Oh, but won't be striking back on this one. Get a lot of this 6S. Miku, I think for the first time in this set, moves on to the leading position. With a random pick that favored him. One more stroke of good luck might be it. What's it gonna be on the next one? Leo? It is gonna be Leo. And that Leo, where is it? What is the fate of this matchup? It is at the bottom tier. Ka-ching! So technically this matchup should move potentially to the 6-6 after this. Like, there's no way you're gonna lose to a like not confident character, right? Right? Or maybe we have seen, I guess we've seen crazier comebacks here or turnarounds on Bounty Hunters for the random select matches. Ooh, got the I think there was an attempt to backdash there, which was caught by the hoop stomp once again. 2K anti-air? I mean, you do have the Kisk family curse that, you know, none of your jump-ins are particularly good or deep. which is one of the reasons why they say that Sin, you know, should for the most part try to play grounded game as much as possible, unless you're punishing something like a fireball or slide head or what have you. Alright, set point for Miku. We are mauling. We are doing it with a bottom tier character. I mean, again, it is not a 0 XP character. It is just a not confident character. Be able to Eisensturm out of the corner. Switch positions as well. Not for free though. There is like some amount of risk for swinging that too heavy if you don't have the stamina to back it up. Here we go with the back there, finding a big counter hit on the missed throw here, prompting a burst. The link does not work into too heavy on the landing there. Opponent still in the corner, we find a hit. No stamina burn though. Tap the 5D, no RC, there is so many resets. Is that gonna be a punish? Close slash, the best starter. Is that gonna be it? 100 meter? No, we're saving it. We're waking up with too heavy. Are you kidding me? We're living with that? No, again, the delay. There's not enough delay between the hits. Is Miku gonna steal it? Don't drop it. And it's a successful wrap it up. Oh, that's so unfortunate. The gravity of the like the bounce between the normal hits and the counter hits for RTL is so different, and it can be really hard to judge like which kind of RTL should I go for. Do I just press the follow-ups immediately? Do I try to follow up upwards? Do I delay? What do I do? The guaranteed kill there unfortunately eludes Jay, so that'll make that'll guarantee the finish. 7-5 for Miku. Was down quite a bit at one point as well, but the chaotic nature of this random pick random pick match does create all sorts of ups and downs. Okay, next one. So we've had both of these characters before being randomed into. Not really picked as a character lock yet. But here they come. BlackRaven representing the Biken camp. The Finnish Biken camp as well. We have so many Finnish Biken players. Honestly, it feels like Biken in Finland is the new Nagoriyuki in a way. So from 2 back-to-back random matches, we're gonna move on to 2 back-to-back Biken matches. And both of these matches for the Biken players are relatively like control-oriented, meaning the opponent is gonna be controlling you. First one of them, Scarlet showing up on Testament. And after this, we are still gonna see PleaseDontLaugh Biken fighting against Gusto's Faust. So both of these matchups, the Biken player is gonna have to work a little at neutral to get in first. Of course, when you do get in, you have the rewards, you have the set play, you have the mix-ups, you have all sorts of nasty things to just brutalize the character that doesn't necessarily want to be... this is Guilty Gear, so everybody wants to be close and probably close slashing and pressuring you. But generally, if you can help it, you would much rather keep the Biken player at an arm's length, where you get to play, but they necessarily don't. So you have pretty limited amount of dash speed, and while your instant air dash jump slash is pretty good, it is rather predictable trajectory, and this character Testament has some pretty decent anti-airs, namely your flagship anti-air 6P being pretty decent sized hitbox. Oh, but now we're immediately in this position. When you get here, this is where it gets usually pretty good for Biken. when you don't have to struggle at neutral anymore. Ooh, missed the throw there. So now Scarlet very low health, and in fact gets frame trapped by the follow-up of the heavy Kabari. It's engaging right from the get-go. And every single time the succubus marker is on the field, depending on its position, you will have to mind if Testament goes for the crow. The crow usually starts from their upper body and then homes in on the marker, so depending on what the trajectory is, you might not be able to dash in, you might not be able to go under with too heavy, you might not be able to jump either. Nice possession there, buying a little bit of real estate, actually getting a big counter hit there with the too heavy. This gun is gonna completely whiff. Or I mean, maybe the blast radius would have caught Scarlet. Probably wasn't sure, so just drifted back just to be safe. No reason to take a risk when you are this high up on life lead. Ooh, that's an interesting one. So starting with an S Kabari, and that actually reached the instant air backdash. Was that followed, maybe followed up by an S Fireball. Do the other side, mix it up. Yeah, aggressive burst to put the opponent in the corner. Ooh, tried to read that. BlackRaven might have jumped out of there, sent the crow on a neutral homing instead of into the marker. Once again, the marker is not. Went for the neutral possession, not the teleport. Again, the marker not in the right place, so the crow is gonna go wherever it pleases. That is gonna be close enough, though. Frame trap into plus frames. The up fireball, of course, always plus. And creates a lot of really dangerous frame traps. Gonna pop? Yes, indeed. And a new buff there. When you have Stain on the opponent, nowadays, you will be able to pop them in the air. Or rather, your throw will pop them in the air. Let's also fix the room settings. Put this on rematch. Now that we are done with our random select matches. Sorry about that. Always forget to flip the settings back into their proper positions. Okay, from 1-0 position here for Scarlet.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
Gotta tread really carefully though, even if you can basically zone the opponent for potentially, like, let's say, half a minute. One good approach from Baiken could nullify all of that. And technically, like, you're not super dangerous at neutral either as Testament, because once you get that curse on the opponent, once you're able to apply that stain, that's when your strikes are starting to get like really dangerous, and when the opponent has to really think about how they approach you and when. Ooh, starting with an instant air dash Yozan to the other side and a big combo. Ooh, we get a challenge here. Get the crow, plus frames after the pop, even with the Arbiter signs. But now BlackRaven. Oh, wait a second! The vacuum effect of the Yozan actually kind of saving that situation. I thought for a moment that was a complete combo drop, but in fact, able to still get value out of it and maintain the close range offensive position. Went for the neutral crow again. A lot of Yomi layers here teleporting in place. Now throw into the corner, OTG fireball, and curse has been applied. However, the 9-framer far slash able to get the mash in there, even despite the plus frames. It's like the was waiting for it. However, good delay there on Raven, not bursting immediately. 6P mash out of the corner. We got the curse as well. Ooh, maximum amount of damage. Was going for the OTG Arbiter sign at the end. Teleport out of the corner. Ooh, that's gonna get caught. Not enough damage though. Oh, close slash dash cancel. Overwhelming the opponent's mental faculties. I mean, there is so many things that you're kind of looking for. Usually the primary thing is you're trying to react to the Kabari animation with your 6P, right? Ooh, big one. Starting with the up fireball, forcing BlackRaven to basically burst. There we go. The neutral homing of the crow, catching the jump this time. It's a little bit of an RPS, like if the opponent tries to instant air dash or jump out of your downward scroll, you could, instead of sending it to the marker, you could send it as a neutral trajectory instead. Ooh, had the gap to jump over out of there, huh? Not this time though. Try to 5B, no sir. What the 6B still active and hits. However, waking up with the gun. And a very defensive posture here. Look at that. Instant air dash back and jump heavy on the very last frames on the way down. Very hard to chase and challenge for a lot of characters, these kind of maneuvers. Goes under the kabari there. Yeah, that is the right option. Generally, when you are in a close range pressure and the Baiken tries to attach an S-kabari on you, you can react with your 6B and go under and counter-poke them. And I guess Testament gets you can get a 6B into Fireball conversion. So it's not the worst thing, even though you can get like a huge amount of damage. Speaking of damage, wait, is this gonna connect? Yeah, it is still gonna connect. And now the curse is applied as well. Oh, tried to go for a 6B, sorry, a 5B anti-air. 6B would have actually done it, but opted to go for the faster option, which ended up whiffing and getting whiff punished by Yozan. Interesting kind of situation there. Frame trap into Tatami, this is gonna be big. Oh, not getting the wall bounce there. I think you have to be a little bit closer, huh? Oh, that's enough. Bam! I mean, Testament is a relatively low guts character, so you have a lot of kill potential on this one. Also, howdy Raiders from Thai stream. Welcome, welcome. We're on our second last game of the evening. We have a little bit of a small, like a micro Baiken gauntlet here. First Baiken Testament, and then after this we're gonna have still a Baiken versus Faust. Oh, again, the neutral homing there. Scarlet has been using it for the most part, and it's starting to pay off because the opponent is starting to jump out. This should take the opponent in the corner. This could be a wall break if Scarlet wants. Yep, he's gonna take it. That's a hard knockdown as well. Oh, is that gonna be enough? The fast RC trying to get the finish in there. However, now with the missed resources, Crow is gonna be very okay trade for Scarlet, and sending the S-Fireball from a very nice angle. Yeah, characters like Testament and Axel and, you know, characters of that sort, there's a lot of prediction going on. Like what kind of angle you think the opponent is gonna approach you from. And generally they are not gonna approach you from the ground. Because by definition, like Fireball function characters, like the S-Grave Reaper or Rensen, they just completely deny the opponent's ability to run forward. So often they're gonna be coming from the sky. And you as the zoner, knowing that, you can utilize that and try to block those trajectories. Ooh, frame trap into the blue Wild Assault. Get the tether as well. This will be a combo. Oh, unless Raven actually wants to turn it into a mix-up instead. Which, like, arguably has the better reward, especially since that was the tail end of the S-Kabari duration, I think. So there's probably some sort of value calculation there. Ooh, the downward Fireball actually connects. The Succubus doesn't, though. Now the double jump. Ooh, teleport straight into a close slash. We have the burst, though. Potentially good position. No follow through with the 2K from Testament. Escape from the corner, but at what cost? The cost is probably decent enough to pay. Possession towards the corner. Try to build as much distance between the opponent and you. Chip damage is also an opportunity. Dash into a Hiragi. That's not gonna do anything, unfortunately, against the Fireballs. Was probably predicting that Scarlet wants to press something like a Far Slash, which like makes a lot of sense. You are in a position where you could connect with a Far Slash and force them to block a Fireball or a Crow, and try to mount a chip damage kill like that. But now, right from the get-go, Raven in a really good position. Scarlet does deem that it is worth to use the burst here in order to play still. Ooh, the neutral. Ooh, that's a great punish! See the gunshot coming, And because the succubus marker was right next to Raven, the possession is gonna give you a nice punish. Hiragi a little bit too far away, and no dash cancel either. So we'll maintain the position overhead. Yeah. The overhead's Arbiter signs are actually... Ooh, goes under with a too heavy. Now an opportunity. Any hit is probably gonna be it. That should be it. The steal. The steal there for Raven. Was looking like such a strong position for Scarlet for a moment. Again, the instant air dash drive by Yozan from the round start. Missing with the 6B. And now Raven just, oh my god, went for a hard mash 6B, which actually beats out the Yozan because I guess it was not set up as tightly as it could be. Like, unless you get like an Oki like instant air dash into Tatami to hold the opponent still, there is gonna be some RPS. Oh, that's gonna, no wait, it's gonna be delayed enough. Arbiter 1, or sorry, Calamity 1 is so slow on startup that Hiragi actually moved past its active frames and got punished there. Interesting interaction. To the other side, both plays with the 50 tension, 50 burst left. Good backdash, put them in the corner. Now this is such a good position for Testament. You can loop your... Yeah, look at this. You can loop your stain in so many different ways, and your opponent basically has to try to guess. Where can I press my reversal? Where can I press my 6B? Or if the 6B is even gonna get you any kind of value, because Testament could also choose to go low with moves like too heavy or too S. And waiting for the burst. Yep, it has to happen. It absolutely has to happen here. Scarlet knowing it, Raven knowing it, viewers knowing it. But it's not like you don't want to go down with that burst intact either. You don't want to become a Garfield, so like it's kind of, even if you know it's the burst bait is probably gonna happen, you probably have to try it, right? Especially since, like, if you don't do it, then the opponent is probably gonna end up on like meaty close slash again, unless you go for like an OTG burst. There are still like options that you can pick as far as your burst timing goes, but it is a tough situation once your life starts running out. And Raven going for the same kind of play here, using the RC to make the burst not as heavy, or sorry, not as hard as we say in the industry. Yozan once again beats the low profile too heavy I think I saw from Scarlet. Checking with the Arbiter. Checking the, ooh, patience from BlackRaven. Yeah, that's kind of like one of the most basic RPS options at neutral. Testament player could go for S Fireball, which will halt your movement on the ground, or they could go for a heavy Fireball, which will halt your attempts to jump in. The reversal parry here is big, nullifies the curse as well. Oh, this is a kill, right? No RC. No, OTG is not enough either. We can RC here, or we can just attempt a chip kill. Okay, okay, I like that. I like that. There was probably a lot of spaghetti on the floor for both players there, but in the end, it turned out into a very interesting play, especially since Raven had the 100 meter there. So smacking it up with a reversal super ain't gonna be a big deal because you can always PRC it. Situation will basically never be favorable for the opponent unless they have some sort of really unique tool to sort of combat it. Okay, the FRC on the Crow, forcing extra strong pressure after the Crow. To the other side, this time Scarlet able to block it properly. Catching the Escabari now, time to guess. Just goes for the safe jump from the front. I think it's generally like the safe jump options work way better from the front side than the back side. Kabari still attached. Ooh, this time. Maybe same conundrum again. Can RPS the 6-speed mash though get Scarlet out? And now lots of plus frames. Ooh, this surprise, this like curse looping mid-scream seems to work surprisingly well if you have the sort of the kabari attached, right? It's kind of like a micro corner. Close range distance once again, able to get that parry. But in turn, Scarlet making sure that we're not gonna get locked in the corner. The neutral homing crow once again getting big value. Teleport into a reversal parry. Does get you a meaty close slash, but meaties like that can be very dangerous against Baiken. 2p. Oh, the trade is certainly in Raven's favor here. Big gun. Able to beat Scarlet out of the trade. And once again, or is it once again? I think Scarlet has been generally on the leading side of things. It's been very close either way, so able to guarantee a curse. No, huh? Wait, was that too early? I thought that was a meaty curse there. So now Raven waiting out the burst, which ends up never happening. Ooh, to the other side again. The instant air dash is powerful against the S fireballs, even though the S fireballs are so strong on the ground. Nice, able to buffer the super. So sending the girls, getting the curse, and getting the hard knockdown as well. Can go for overhead here. Yep, this is kind of one of the most common options that you could play. Gotta be really careful though. If you micro dash before your arbiter sign, your arbiter sign, then the opponent could potentially have a reversal super on you. Alright, good backdash, able to avoid the throw, and now look at that. Big damage from a close range, close slash position. Looking for potentially one more mix, plus frames, yeah, landing from that Yoza so close to the ground. Put the nail in the coffin, 10, and with the extra damage from wall break as well, certainly gonna be a kill for BlackRaven. Alright, nice starter. This time, it's such a guessing game. So, like, half the time, the crow homing is actually the... Oh, nice, too heavy. Actually able to low profile BlackRaven enough to make the... even make the downwards crow with. Speaking of making things with, DLC 2K has a lot of low profile frames on Testament 2K like that. Reversal parry works out once again. To the other side, yep, that's plus for Bacon. But Scarlet is like, nah, don't want to get mixed here. Oh, nice, the 2K is super powerful with the curse on. Staying always causing a little bit of like a micro RC, no matter what normal you connect with. Yep, knew they had the burst. It was gonna be over if the burst doesn't happen immediately. Too heavy into Tatami. The heavy Kabari actually ends up whiffing because of the deflect shield, and that puts Scarlet at the perfect Testament distance in this matchup. Oh, sorry, that's 4-4. 4-4, even game once again.
They cannot change society.
Oof.
So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blame.
Next games are gonna be super important because we're slowly starting to run out of rounds here. Sending the neutral throw and sending a big Hail Mary or Haymaker 6 heavy afterwards. Yo, the 2P still hit there on the dash follow-up of Kabari. Or what do you call that? Cross-up follow-up of Kabari? The charge parry. I know the input is if you charge it, it's gonna cross you up, right? Ooh, tried to go for the red parry, but the red parry timing window is much tighter than the normal one. Does give you opportunities to get out of situations that no other character in the game could, but it comes at a great risk. With great tool comes great responsibility, as Uncle Ben said. Oh, it should be a yes, indeed. Not a DP character, but you can definitely do that when you have a frame 1 reversal. Drift into a button that you see going active and immediately parry them. And since Baiken's parry is actually more damage than standard DP, it's even better that way. Ooh, that was a very delayed Yozan there. Scarlet getting an opportunity. Oh, sending a neutral crow. However, BlackRaven again dashing forward. The dash forward is always a big win. Oh, that's actually gonna hit into a full conversion. OTG too heavy into Escabari, into plus frames, and we are in the leading place once again, 5-4, not by too much. They've been going side to side so far.
I knew that they cannot change society.
But will Raven be able to get the crucial momentum swing here? Going into 6 points here would be big. Ooh, nice, using one of the faster buttons. Jump K, which hits basically on the both sides for Testament. Completely avoiding the succubus marker there, getting out of the corner, and attaching Escabari on top of that. Raven has been pretty careful here doing the dash blocking. Not getting caught by, like, not too many stray projectiles, and especially at full screen, not a lot by stray Arbiter signs. Ooh, but there's trickiness still left in Scarlet. Teleporting forward. I think that was mid block string as well, which technically could be interruptible. Ooh, even 6B as pro-rated as it is, or rather gravity decayed as it is, you are gonna be able to get a small conversion if Stain is present. Okay, I think deemed that there was a gap to try to jump out from that knockdown. Here comes the instant airbag dash jump slash. The Kabari pulling them together like hot glue. Or wait, that's not the analogy. Fast RC6 heavy into more pressure. The Kabari is still attached, went for a heavy one. Heavy Kabari on block, not quite as good as the S1. Escaping, in fact, going for a big commitment there on the air fireball. Switching sides and then fireballing the opponent. This round, super important as we've been trying to emphasize. Yozan from a very high angle, still plus. I think it's usually like at least +3 at worst. There we go, going under here. This is one of the hard reach tools. Works against especially the Crow, which is like very... Oh, that still hits? It was a really hard hit confirm the mate. I didn't expect that, and probably Scarlet didn't either. Bar slash, counter hit confirm into Arbiter sign. Mr. TK Yozan there. Unfortunate for Raven. Now those tension resources are gonna be lost as well. We're spending tension on the side of Scarlet as well. We do have the burst as well. And since Testament is an OBA user, we're not gonna have to... We don't even concern ourselves with that. Just back up, start the zoning. And this time, when adrenaline is flowing and stakes are really high, it's gonna be ever so much harder to perform those dash blocks or be patient on wake up. You would think, I am at full screen against this goddamn creature, so I should be able to move, but sometimes you just can't. You have Arbiter sign as the Testament player. Plus frames, ooh, tried to backdash out. The 6K still catches, chases, pierces the whale. Yeah, challenge here on, ooh, both players missing their options. That was a great timing once again on the 2 heavy. So the sort of the big weakness of the up fireball is that it's quite whip punishable, right? Especially on things that low profile. So if the opponent, especially if you have something low profiling, or if you have something that has disjoint, or if you're just cracked out of your mind and you are just really good at whip punishing. I mean, Bike definitely can. Micro dash into that 9-frame bar slash. Yeah, that does the deed if you're at a perfect distance. But you would have to dash block yourself into that distance first. Once again, dead even situation, 5-5. Last round here. Small tension advance, burst advantage for Scarlet. And it immediately right off the bat scores a pretty decent conversion in Testament standards. Oh, I like the bluff again. Throw into, this is gonna be a loop. Loopy, a loopy, loopy, loopy. And it's gonna go on. Where is the exit? Even if BlackRaven got the instant air dash out of the corner, it didn't come for free as Scarlet was ready to 6P to the right direction. But now, bike and pressure. You know about the bike and pressure. The jump beat, though, that was a huge commitment. While your frames are actually slowed down there, Scarlet chose to still press the fastest button available to her. And the jumpy ended up interrupting. I'm not sure what Raven pressed there. Might have been going for one of the heavier buttons like jump slash or maybe even Yozan. I mean, it makes sense if you have the RC slowdown and you're like, okay, they're not gonna be doing shit here, so I can be a little bit greedier and press a heavier button for spending that 50. But no, wasn't able to, and now because of that, Scarlet moves on to the 6-point position first. Nice, very preemptive 6P, and with those active frames, we are pushing Raven back into the corner again. No good on the parry against fireballs. It is usually the sort of the dance or the rhythm between first Grave Reaper, connect with the normal, send Crow, connect with the normal, send Grave Reaper, connect with the normal, send Crow, and it flows like that. And between all of those connectors, you do have a little bit of agency to press buttons such as, like, you know, 6P if you think the connector is gonna be a standing poke, so on and so forth. Oh, that's a good choice. That would have been a trade, but a perilous trade for Scarlet for sure. And going into that throw once again. Yeah, if you think your opponent's reversal out of that situation is gonna be a parry, then, you know, like S Grave Reaper into a dash throw or Crow into a dash throw will be pretty valid. I'd smack them off the wall. It's gonna be... I've been saying this so much, but Raven absolutely needs this. I think went for a red parry there, but the timing didn't align, and big counter hit for too heavy on Testament side. Wasn't able to abort the mission there. Couldn't get the super to seal the deal. Oh, to the other side with the jump K, getting a cross up hit. Scarlet with a trick that she's probably been saving all this set. Teleport to the other side, tag them with the jump K, and steal the win. I reckon that sequence ain't gonna do that much damage, but that's exactly why you play it at moments like this when you need only one more hit. Wow. There's in fact a lot of stuff like that in Testament's kit, stuff that just like isn't that great of a reward, like a lot of the FRC tricks. But there's a time and place for everything. Such a great set. Oh yeah, this one was cancelled. Oh, shed a couple of tears for the Badur matchup that never manifested, huh? Maybe in the future. I really want to see Badur on Venom in Guilty Gear Strive. Because he's like one of the OG Venom players from back in the day. Back from the older versions, older iterations of the game. And since we haven't seen that much Venom representation altogether on the European front, it would be really nice to see like what the top Venom players are cooking. But moving on to the last matchup of the evening, we're gonna have Baiken against another control character. Very different control character this time around though. Gusto playing Faust. So it's gonna be big normals and especially the good items. The good items trademark. I mean, they say that good Faust players can play themselves into positions where they get to throw a lot of items, and when you throw a lot of items, then eventually you're gonna throw a good one. Even if there are like some suboptimal ones in the mix, that's basically by design. It's like you can't always hit the meteors, you can't always hit the hammer in perfect close range situation, right? Sometimes you gotta hit the duds, you gotta hit the donuts, you gotta hit the bananas, you gotta hit even the horns are sometimes like not very good, because it allows your opponent to potentially get value out of it. Okay, we got both players in position. This is gonna be, if memory serves correctly, the third week in a row when PleaseDontLaugh takes on the European crew. And of course, PleaseDontLaugh representing the North American continent.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
It's pretty cool that with the new technology, I mean, quotations, new, rollback netcode, we actually get to have relevant matches between, you know, regions such as like North America and Europe if, you know, we connect the coasts close enough. Alright, last matchup of the evening, Bike and Faust. PleaseDontLaugh, Gusto. You can immediately see what kind of posture Gusto is trying to, or attempting to sort of muster. Try to keep a little bit of distance between the opponent and you, and if, like, in the optimal world, try to get some sort of advantage from the items that you can throw on a moment's notice. Even like a mini Faust is gonna be super big, because that allows you to basically completely seal the ground off, and because you have such great anti-airs, it shouldn't be too big of an issue if you know that the Viking player is gonna be jumping at you to anti-air them, right? Ooh, crawling under the Escabari. A play only available to Faust. I mean, you could hit the reaction 6B like everybody else does in the game. Oh, you could also do that, just hit a 2B. Massive range. Generally from those Escabari cancels, like that would be too far for the opponent to jab you. But because Faust 2B is a little bit different, you can kinda do that. It is like a super fast version of many characters 2S's. Ooh, the timing was perfect for PleaseDontLaugh. Gusto tried to go for the classic super PRC in order to create massive amount of invul frames to make the opponent whiff. But I think the melee must have been like super delayed, which is generally the counterplay against it. Because you can only create so many invul frames that your reversal super has startup frames. Like if you, let's say like your reversal super starts up in 12 frames, well that means you have to RC at the latest on the 12th frame, so you could create 11 invul frames for yourself. Alright, through the wall we go. I think this was not quite enough, right? Yeah, just barely not enough. Viking has like at least a little bit of defensive modifier to play with. Ah, look at that, a perfect distance, too heavy. Gusto sets up perfect control here. Decent split between throwing items and, you know, you can't just throw items either. Like if you're going straight away into the item throwing minigame, then the opponent is just gonna, yeah, do exactly this. They're just gonna instant air dash at you, and make you block stuff. So here and there, you will have to stop and kind of gauge at what they're doing, and potentially anti-air them. Ooh. Ah, missed the bombo there by a couple of frames. Right, YRC immediately following Gusto's FRC. I think that was. Time to guess. Which side? From the back. And Gusto is just a little bit too far. Oh, we're gonna burst it. Okay. I like it. We did have 50 tension ready to go still, so it was potentially it was a potential comeback to make there. Bursting the opponent in the corner and having 50 tension in the tank. Calculated risk, as we say. He didn't end up paying off that time, but you know, as a combo breaker from the little guys. That's why it's so important for basically both players. Once the horn is manifested from the item throw, it's so important that you can react to it. It's on the round, and you basically beeline towards it. Maybe even spend some of your resources to make sure that the opponent doesn't pick it up. Oh, speaking of which, but this time we are working with a combo, so there is a chance. Like there is a choice. Oh, the teleport. Exactly what I was saying. Maybe you get punished out of it, but then the little guys are gonna lock them down, allow you to get a little bit of like a small combo. And okay, big backdash here for Don't Laugh. Evening it up 1-1. Okay, slowly getting warmed up. There is, of course, the farthest reach tool for Baiken is the heavy kabari, which, I mean, theoretically could. What? Both players going for the gold burst at the same time. That's gonna be no. Wait, was that a perfect angle for Gusto? The frame kill there, getting a close slash. Couple of mixes. I think Gusto didn't press a button here, so we'll be able to block. His combo. Oh, I see. They were probably worried about going for a close slash punish because the bomb would have gone off, and you would have, depending on the timing, would have had to go for something really weird. Maybe a jump cancel immediately, and God knows how that combo would have gone. So instead, chose to go for a throw punish instead to completely bypass the bomb. I dig it. Set up that throw here. Tough situation to be in. Goes for an immediate burst. You kind of have to because you don't have a lot of life to spend here. One mix-up, one hit, that's gonna be it. Canceling straight into the super. Cutting into the outro. Bam! There goes your bones. And here comes my second win. It is such a contrast between one of the tallest standing character in the game between compared to a complete goblin. Baiken is. All right, good conversion. Already queued up the heavy kabari, unfortunately, so won't be able to get a hard knockdown here. Attach the kabari though. Any sort. Okay, I like it. Land into an empty throw. And if the opponent jumps or backdashes out of it, you got 100 meters, so you have BRC option selects off the ass. The bar slash just barely ends up whiffing. Little guy creating a little bit of an insurance. If you instant air dash out of the corner, surely it's gonna activate the little guy. Not gonna play any part here because we're gonna go into a wall break. Gusto with the 50. Please don't laugh so close to their own 50. Oh, that was kind of cool. So they knew that they were gonna get knocked down by the 100-ton hammer because Gusto was grounded and Please Don't Laugh was not. So the deflect shield there was basically the safest play, or rather the only play that you could make if you want to survive the situation. Great combo and a great finish. Shooting kill Faust here. 0 guts. Takes all the damage. No! In fact, it is not enough. Rare footage of Faust not going down. I guess the combo was like rather prorated there, was it not? Ooh, attempt at the whip punish was a little late though. Yeah, especially in the modern patches when they've basically universalized, made all the 6Ps quite equal in terms of frame data. The ones that weren't so whiff punishable before generally are now. Only a banana peel between me and you. Is it still there? No, I think it expired. Just a little kiss with the 2S, but unfortunately, Baiken still kind of struggles with the range on her conversions conundrum. So if you connect like a maximum range 2S and it's not a counter hit, then tough luck. There's not a whole lot of stuff that you can do. Ooh, got the guaranteed punish situation, but was with a jab. Same again, but this time Gusto has the FRC, which is kind of like a same kind of beat as Soul with Bandit Revolver FRC mix-ups. You're skipping into their guard and then doing something that is kind of hard to block afterwards. Alright, this will waste time for the Afro to explode. And because the Afro expired there, the jump D that Gusto played, it would have hit with the Afro, but without the Afro, it was the wrong play. These are the kind of things that you have to adjust to on a moment's notice. That's why Faust is such an interesting character, such a fascinating character. Not just to play, but to play against as well. Ooh, I feel like that might have been an instant air dash Yosan or like a TK Yosan round start, which just didn't quite end up manifesting there. No anti-air. Afro up for grabs. If Faust grabs the Afro, you can throw it and cause a guard crush, which is of course, if you get to throw it, it's kind of like a love bag throw plus. Even better. Ooh, nice prediction there. Ooh, he's still able to snag it. Perfect snipe. And due to the like a decently or I mean, I guess the angle of Baiken's instant air dash is pretty wide, but still, pretty good presence of mind to instant air dash over there and steal the horn before the opponent can. To the other side, no reaction from the opponent in time. Crawl under the Esca body, which is certainly an option for Faust. Ooh, try to backdash and then press a button, but the too heavy is chasing. RC has to be made. And Gusto has even more from where that came from. Good RC here for the wall break. But we're going for the FRC once again. One more hit. And that's surely... No! Committed to the back steer on the mix. So that ended up not confirming. No worries. Gusto still has it with a long reaching 2P here from Faust. From the good doctor. Ooh, into a mix-up position. Frame trap is gonna be quite a bit of damage. Able to build into the 50 meter as well. Missed the super cancel. I mean, it's not the end of the world because you are in a tension, like positive bonus here. But now the comeback from Gusto. Oh, that's a good item. However, look at that. Jumping backwards, matrix dodging that bouncing hammer. Yeah, still has the... This time it was gonna be just sending the normal reversal super instead of playing the PRC. Got him with a close slash. Not quite gonna be enough, so we're gonna reset into the love bag. There were so many options there for Gusto. Was trying to find the last hit with the swallowed meteors. Could have also tried to disengage, throw the meteors from the bottom of your stomach, and then go for a left-right mix-up. But I mean, the opponent can see your item as well, so they know you wanna spit that out. So they would be chasing you as well. And since both players were at so low health, it's hard to justify. Sometimes it's really hard to justify if you think that your opponent is a thinking, breathing human being. Especially the thinking part. Right, the interruption. Ooh! Was that because of the car body? That looked like a combo I don't see very often. Or at the very least, there was like something about the physics, the momentum of that combo. Especially since Gusto sent the mix kind of upwards angle, right? Ooh, that's a big 5k! You're gonna take some real damage here. Boom! Half of your life gone from an anti-air. That's probably Faust's biggest damage conversion, right? Even better than getting a like flow slash. And that should be it. Boom. Forcing the wall break. Putting the players at perfectly equal situation once again. Starting with that 7-frame 2P. Ooh, and the anti-air. Yeah, when you're playing Faust, you better have your anti-airs on point. Especially in a matchup like this, where the opponent is just perpetually gonna jump at you from certain like different angles. Ooh, we got the cross up on the mix. Good item. Making sure that there is no counterplay unless the opponent goes for like a straight parry to lock you in animation. That would deny you the usage of the hammer that you just threw. And stomping for good measure. Little man, where are your manners? No stomping the corpse after the slash has been called. Alright, both players spending the burst very early into the round. And the drill jump 2k from a perfect angle. Guaranteeing Gusto 50 meter as well. We're gonna spend that immediately into a 5D tap. That means in the stage transition, no meter immediately for Gusto. Gonna have to wait a little bit. It is gonna manifest itself eventually. That ball plays with the 50. Again, the bane of every Baiken player's existence. The TK Yozan miss. It's especially painful when you like queue up the RC as well afterwards. So you just do like a super jump slash into blue RC, and then you're like, well shit. I'm off position. I spent all my resources, and I don't get the set play. Ooh, here comes a big combo though from PleaseDontLaugh. Oh, try to go for a close slash anti-air. However, Faust, I guess, doesn't read as high as many, like some others in the game. Yeah, getting a small punish there. No tension that time for Gusto to cancel into. Or cancel after from the mix. And a lot of the times, the way that you control mix, the steer can't even save you, because it's like, it tends to be quite minus. Right, burst here. PleaseDontLaugh, only working with the halfway burst of their own. Got the hammer. Ooh! Wait, was that a little bit of a mix-up there? With the the double jump, was able to hop onto the other side of Gusto. I'm not sure if that was a left or right there. Because depending on your position, like in regards to your opponent, you might have to block the horde of little guys from left or right there. Speaking of the little guys, PleaseDontLaugh smartly avoids the situation, diffuses. Oh, is he gonna come back? We're gonna have to stay airborne. It is triggered. Notices it as well. Pretty good. There's like a lot of decision making going into like, how are you gonna dodge those little guys? How are you gonna dodge those like horn little guys? How are you gonna, like, is it worth it to do it like that? Should I take the hit? Again, look at that. Perfect timing and perfect trajectory. The little guy, like, eventually, as it's done with its like little tantrum animation, it does lock into a trajectory, and if after that you lock yourself on a different trajectory, of course it's gonna miss. Ooh, the jump works out perfectly, avoids the charge follow-up of Heavy Kabari. Still not able to take the round there. Oh, this is so close. Once again, we're going side by side. Soon reaching the championship rounds here, 4-4. Who's gonna take the lead this time around? Wait, where did the banana peel expire there? Was it blocked? Big commit here. Or maybe not as big because you still had the RC left to go. Oh, that's gonna be a combo breaker! Get the hard knockdown straight into super. I think Gusto didn't press. Let's see it. Close slash into Nice little double mix combo, making sure that we get a little bit of extra damage at the end. Miss input, still okay. Opponent didn't take forward, so we get an opportunity to anti-air them. Picking up a pretty decent anti-air for the jump as well. 2S, which is, as far as I understand, relatively like vertically oriented. Oh, and this time the backdash catcher. If the opponent does basically anything but block there, it's gonna be caught by the mix. Ooh, I think this might buy time for, yeah, exactly enough for PleaseDontLaugh to make the Afro dissipate. Ooh. Is that enough, RC? Yeah, that should be enough. So the advantage will once again be on Gusto's side. As we're slowly nearing the end of our last matchup of the evening. But if the history books have been, like, if we know anything about history and its repetitive nature, then I guess there's a decent chance, or a decent reason to expect that PleaseDontLaugh might take this point back again. Looking so far so good. This should slice through the wall. Yes, indeed. 50 meter on Gusto. Horn in stomach, although I think that's probably not gonna play a huge role in this remaining round. Like, is there even a situation where you would ever spit out that horn, even if you know that you have it? I don't think so. Item throw is just gonna be way more valuable. It is still gonna be the horn, though, unfortunately. Can never escape. I mean, you can throw multiple items in a row. That is a thing that can happen. All right, more guard crush. Ooh, that was a classic throw bait there. Dash into close distance, but not quite close enough to get thrown. Slide in there with your biggest counter hit move. This time it was too heavy for Gusto. Should be enough, right? Making sure that that was even cooler version of the combo. Making sure that the opponent is held in place in the air for a little bit extra because of that blue RC, which allows you to get a couple more extra normal hits. Here comes PleaseDontLaugh with the big combo. Advantage here on the Baiken side. We have to go for the burst. Finds a good spot to do so. But PleaseDontLaugh has the counter burst as well. Look at that! From what distance? From a back jump slash. Finds a counter hit. Air dash into a pickup. Wow! Indeed, we are going side by side. Nothing ever changes. Nothing ever changes. Now it's a last-minute sprint to get those last 2 points here for either player. Yeah, understandably, PleaseDontLaugh will have to respect that hammer that bounces on the ground. Like, is it like three times? I think 3 times. So it spends a decent amount of time on the field. Commanding, demanding your respect. Oh, was able to see the startup of that going under with the 2K. Sorry, the 2D instead. Ooh, interesting. Going with the early Yoza, missing on purpose, and then following it up with a throw. Horn in the throat. That sounds kind of nasty. What if you just start talking and it brings out the Vuvuzela noises? Ooh, that would have worked out. I think PleaseDontLaugh went for a reversal parry, right? But wasn't able to slide quite close enough for that snip, snip, snip. Oh, is that the first time I ever called Faust's command crab snip, snip, snip instead of Metagiri? We're making progress here. After 3 years, learning the names of our moves, or our characters' moves. Ooh, the interception there, though. It's a decently well-timed burst. Was able to evade not only the combo, but also the incoming little guy. Oh, the mix, though! To the other side. And then The hammer, there's nothing else to do but block. I mean, you could try to red parry, perhaps. The hammer again, the god item. RC for more pressure, RC back, plus 10. Get me out of here, get me out of this corner. And now, looking for one more hit. TK Yozan could be it. Doesn't go for it, goes for a low instead. However, Gusto reads the sentiment. Survives the block string and moves on to 6 points first. Engagement from the sky once again, jump slash into yours. Look at that, the perfect time. Like, of course, Baiken players will do it, but the important thing, can you do it at the perfect timing? So you matrix dodge the hammers and the other items that might be coming at you. Right, playing it safe here. Just we'll have to take the FRC from the snip from the mix. We're able to crawl under the escapade this time. Wait, no, what did we swallow? Wait, is that a thing? If you swallow a food item, does it get consumed immediately? That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. I think that's the only explanation for what just happened here. QK learning Faust mechanics live on Bounty Hunters. Damn. I was confused here. I thought you swallowed an item. And I guess indeed you did. Indeed you did. Right, time to guess for the mix-up again. Overhead. Good variation between the high and low options, but also Gusto being pretty good varying their defensive options. AKA just guessing, is it gonna be a high? Is it gonna be a low? Getting hit by the low this time from the meaty situation though. Able to attach the Kapari into a reset. The burst will detach the rope though. Plus frames into a throw. Was I think trying to mash a 6P there, but a little bit too slow from that plus frame situation. Micro dash throw. Who doesn't love when the script comes together perfectly? It's been basically a perfect side-by-side marathon. And now, none of the sets before this matter even a bit. I mean, it matters for the amount of data that you gathered, but it's all for this moment. 5 heavy as an anti-air there. Wow, Faust. How does your mom let you have all of these situational anti-airs? God damn it. Ooh, got them with the low this time. It's been 10,000 years, or at least 3 guesses since Gusto guessed wrong on the mix-up. I mean, you're gonna guess wrong eventually, there is no doubt about it. It's just a matter of time. But how often? How often is the question? And the read here, Deflect Shield, not very often utilized by Gusto, but was feeling probably like, oh, I have to negate the high-low here. So go for the Deflect Shield, which will cover both. But that time it was a throw. And now PleaseDontLaugh first on the set point with punish, not quite true punish, got the hit still there. To the other side, yeah, cross up. There's not a whole lot of stuff that you can do about it unless you go for like a deflect shield. Faust with the reversals. Last dance, last chance. We got the hit from the cross up Yozan. And just like that, I feel like Gusto, for majority of the set, was usually the first one to take the advantage point first. First to 3, first to 4, first to 5, first to 6, but then at 6, the crucial adjustment happens, and PleaseDontLaugh steals it away at the last moment. The victory today will go to North America. Europe has been beaten. For now. For now. Okay, I need to press a button, right? As cool as this cinema-like ending screen is, we do eventually have to come out of the lobby. Okay, that'll be it. I mean, it was a 5... So here's the thing, that was a 5-set event. Yet we're drawing pretty close to 9 p.m., which is our usual closing time. It's the random select matches that take just that much extra time. It takes a huge amount of time actually to come back to lobby, which is like if you pose me the question, why on earth do you play this lobby on rematch when there's a risk that the spectators might disconnect and you might miss some games? Well, this is why. It takes way too long. Even having like 1 or 2 random select matches where you return back to lobby, my god, the extra time that creates is quite a bit. But yeah, it was still a really exciting evening. Just perfect size marathon. Okay, what do we got for rating options? I guess before we ponder that side of things, let me remind you, if you want to play on Bounty Hunters, you can join the Discord. The sign-up forms are going to be posted in a couple of minutes after we go offline. You can sign up. We'll try to find a matchup for you that is both equal to your own skill level, but also good connection, if possible. So yeah, FT7 on skill-based matchmaking. That's how it's always been. There is a couple of events going on at the moment. Is Neutral So Good one of the French people's events? There's also the Moth Beginner bracket. Oh, there's something quite interesting. Is it? Wait, are they finally playing the? Are they playing a custom patch? The patch that Plime created over at EMEA GGST at the moment. I want to see if that's the case. Let's go check it out. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the games as much as I enjoyed casting them. Always a pleasure. We'll see you again next Sunday, 5 p.m. CEST. Till now and forever, or maybe until QK runs out of steam. Who knows? Who knows? That day might come sooner or later. Okay, I bid you farewell. See you again next Sunday. Till then, stay safe and bye-bye.